What's up, you filthy casuals? Welcome to the Casual Shenanigans Gaming Podcast, a podcast all about the irreverent love of gaming. James, I stared straight into your eyes while I said that. So you know I did a good job.
To me, it looks like you're looking off to the side, so it means nothing.
Well, fine. Tonight, unfortunately, though, we don't come, it's going to be a fun show, but first, we need to take care of a little bit of housekeeping. After 115 episodes, we need to actually, this is going to be a surprise to everybody listening, even the people who know us. There is a departure in the Casual Shenanigans community. Someone who will no longer be a part of what we're doing here.
They've been around pretty much for all of our gaming lives,
almost the beginning. Almost the beginning.
Yeah, almost the beginning. Like, people who've been around since the beginning will go, yeah, they're not an OG, but yeah, they're pretty OG. So,
yeah. I
mean, it's...
They had a big place in my heart, honestly.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, you have a good run, but...
I'm really, really sad that, we're moving on.
Yeah.
They're moving on, but...
Well, no, when it's time, though. That's the thing, is you don't want to wear it out. It's
better this way. It's better this way. Just
so...
End it, and then,
So tonight, we're saying goodbye to the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater franchise, which is currently spinning on fire in its grave as Activision urinates all over it. So 2015.
I love Tony Hawk.
2015,
I love the Tony Hawk games.
Hold on. 2015 was better than 2014. 2014 had some terrible, man, those things were ruined when some of those games came out. Like, I think we all agreed that last year was not good for game releases. This year has been quite a bit better. Until now, I think we can all agree this is one of the worst releases of the year. And to be fair, when we saw it at E3, people were not excited. But
I was a little excited. No, I was a little excited.
Were you?
I was a little excited because of the turn that they took. I mean,
what turn they took?
After maybe 4.
They
started doing Proving Grounds and stuff.
Yeah.
But really,
American Wasteland.
I think Shred was kind of the jump the shark moment.
Shred? How many did I miss?
Shred was the one with the board.
I thought that was Skate. No, because they made their own. That's right.
Yeah, they made their.
Yeah. Yeah, after 4, that's kind of when, for me, they jumped the shark at 4. And I was like, all right, well, it's been real. But were you excited when... So...
I was a little excited. It looked like they might have been returning back to form. They kind of played it up like it was a return back to form. Mm-hmm. I mean, because they did go off their regular numbering system.
Right.
I mean, didn't they have Tony Hawk 8 technically?
I don't think so.
I think...
I could be wrong. Anyway.
So anyway...
I mean, you guys did see that Activision is aware of the Skater, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 issues, and they said... We are aware of the issues that players have experienced following the launch of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 and are working with the developer to address these so that we can continue to improve the gameplay experience for all the Tony Hawk fans who have known and loved this franchise for more than 60 years. And then they're like,
lashings on the hour every hour.
Set the factory on fire, boys!
So here's the thing, though, Joel. That sounds good. And they're like, oh, man... There are issues with the game.
It sounds like
we're super sorry about it. Here's the thing. The game takes up 4.6 gigs on the disc. The day one patch is 7.7 gigs. They replace the entire game, and then there's 3.5 gigs of, this should have been there too. And the game is still so broken. Every review I've seen is just footage of people flying off into space and crashing through the world and glitches where they're just sitting there doing like this.
That kind of sounds like kind of fun to play, though.
You still want to play it?
just for that experience. Be like, I did a kickflip and I exploded.
I paid $5 to play that version.
It looks like Goat Simulator physics.
It does. It looks like Goat Simulator skateboarding. It's so bad.
Man.
I mean, I could actually like that maybe. Goat Simulator skating.
Yeah, I would actually probably rather play that. But this is a $60 game. $60.
So here's how the numbering went. They had Pro Skater, Pro Skater 2, Pro Skater 3, Pro Skater 4.
Makes sense.
Underground 2, American Wasteland, Project 8. So that's where it was
Project 8.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, then they have Proving Ground, and now they're Pro Skater 5. So they kind of stayed in order of numbers. Like Project 8 was the 8th official game.
Until 5, which is just...
And then 5 is out. But they also had Downhill Jam, Motion, and then Ride was the one I was thinking of. Downhill Jam was the one they came out with on the Wii. which was basically just a downhill slalom.
Wii got so much shovelware. The Wii is like the PlayStation 2 in Japan. Like, you look at some of the games that came out, and you're like, someone went through the effort to print up box art for this? Like,
now, has anybody played the HD release?
No.
Anybody in the chat, maybe? I'm trying to remember if they took some of the songs out. I think they did. Because the songs in the
licensing issues, they couldn't keep them.
The songs in the first few games were
the best
amazing.
Part. That's for a lot of kids. That was like some of the defining music of
Rage
them growing
Against the
up.
Machine. What's that?
That was Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Like, I learned about so much music. That and Burnout 3.
Oh yeah,
so many good bands. I found like I never would have heard of Sugar Cult. I found Thrice, one of my all-time favorite bands, on the SSX3 soundtrack. And like, that's their least Thrice song, but it still got me to listen to them. So I guess the license doesn't carry over for like 15 years.
Offspring was pretty much all Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
I mean, that pretty much made them for people who didn't already know who they were.
Yeah. But so interesting news. Apparently, Joel was telling me about this last night. The Tony Hawk license to make Tony Hawk games is up in 2015. Is that correct, Joel?
Yeah. It ends after 2015.
So we don't know, is this like a backroom ploy to keep the license, or were they just trying to get one more cash grab?
Because I would say cash grab, yeah.
You think so? Because people will buy it off nostalgia. Which I think they will, but the reviews are so bad. Like, normally when a game's bad, it might be
But if
like
they spent
sixes.
like nothing on it, maybe it's still worth it.
I mean, they couldn't have spent a lot if the game is like 4.5 gigs. Like, that's smaller than most demos these days. Like, that's tiny. And if you look at the graphics, it's not hard to believe. Because
wait, 4.5 gigs, that is 1/4 of our Arma mod pack.
Right, like, that's really small for a modern game. So it can be assumed that there wasn't like, they didn't slave over this one. It doesn't look like, but
it's one where you start skating this way, it looks good, you turn around, and there's like just the polygon version. Like, it's just like they didn't finish the rest of it.
The sad thing is, they could have just done like an HD repackaging of, say, the first 4 games or something, and they would have sold tons. Like, people would have loved that. So I don't know. But, and the other bit of news we have this week is, after tons and tons of complaining from all over the internet, Square Enix has wisely realized how stupid the augment your pre-order campaign was for Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Everyone who pre-orders the game will get all of the bonuses, and the game will release on its original release date early next year. And no amount of pre-orders will change that, and you will not get different things if you pre-order different places.
Now, do you think Hitman was the catalyst for that?
Some people were upset about Hitman, and some people thought it was cool. Everybody thought the Square Enix thing was stupid. Like, I didn't read anyone who was like, oh wow, this is a positive step forward for gamers. Where some people said with Hitman, like, the revised version of Hitman actually isn't that crazy. You pay $30 for half the game, makes sense. And if you like the rest of it, it's another $35 to get the rest.
Well, Hitman's also Square Enix.
Right.
So they're both Square Enix, right?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe they just made 2 really bad decisions, and then they're actually doing an okay job recovering. But
they're practically Ubisoft.
I wonder if the success of pre-alpha beta games you can buy early, if companies are trying to do similar things to get as much money as possible before the game comes out, almost like they're buying the game early, you know what I mean? Because I bet a lot of jealous are like about DayZ and about games like that. They're like, man, people are shoveling so much money into games that are not even close to being finished, because they want the game so bad. So maybe we have enough fans who are going to buy, Deus Ex or whatever. Like, that's just ridiculous, I think.
Say that again, Joel.
What?
I said it that way when I was a kid too, Deus Ex.
Oh,
which sounds like Deus Ex, because I'm telling you, this is funny.
I love how you said I said that like that when I was a kid too. He's grown up and has learned how to say some words. Not every word though. Jeremiah, you say words funny sometimes.
I do, actually. There's a video my family likes to trot out where I was looking at a Chinese takeout menu, and my voice was cracking, so it was already an awkward age. My voice sounded bad when it was cracking. And I said, well, I think we should order this duck packing style. And like, I think after 15 seconds, you look over and my dad is like red. Like, when my dad gets laughing, like my dad and my grandmother, everybody, like no air, just pitched back in their chairs, like struggling to breathe. And my family is a big fan of that still. But other bit of news this week is Rocket League. The Rocket League tournament, it was kind of put on hiatus for a week because Joel was in Guatemala and Mark's controller broke, and we were like the next two teams that needed to play people. So everything's back at it. Jeff and Amy have been double eliminated. Suck it, guys. Thanks for playing. And I believe me and Mark tomorrow are playing the Bondar team. And I'm going to be borrowing Debbie's account, so I hope her computer's up to snuff. I'm going to have to play in 1080p tomorrow. But yeah, it should be a pretty fun time. And then we can lose to either Joel and John or Snoov and Fake Thriller. I know we're not going to win, but yeah, so.
Keep hope alive.
Well, I have to. She's my wife. Ha ha ha. I figured someone was going to make the joke, so I just wanted to preempt it. Okay, so our main topic tonight, for the last 2 weeks, we were talking about how to become a PC gamer. We went over why you might want to, how you might do it, what you should do once you become a PC gamer, and we gave you hours and hours and hours of content.
Hours and hours of content.
And that's just outside the tech podcast. But wait, there's more.
So this week, per Joel's contract, we have to talk about consoles. No. This week, we're going to talk about the other side of it, how to become a console gamer, or why you might want to become a console gamer. Because, we presented it last week as maybe you have a console, maybe you don't have anything, and you're looking at why would you want to get into PC gaming. And this week we're going to be looking at maybe you don't have any consoles, maybe you haven't played a console in a while, maybe you don't even have a PC, and you're looking to start gaming.
Why are you watching this podcast?
Well,
you
that's
don't
true.
own
You're
any
kind of a
gaming
weird
apparatus.
Yeah, if you don't game at all, I
mean,
don't know.
keep listening and make sure to donate on Patreon.
Maybe
and
you
like
game,
and subscribe.
Maybe they game on mobile. I guess I don't know.
Actually, I was gonna say if you're in that category, please email in and explain what it is you do and how you found this podcast. It would be really interesting to find out.
Saw there was a liar on the internet, and I was like, let's track this person down, see what they got to say. So we're going to talk about...
We have all these Civil War buffs that keep watching Total War that are watching the podcast.
They're just sitting there waiting. They're like, one of these days, it's going to be about Total War.
Dave,
and it's going to be awesome.
Dave, I don't think any Total War fans had that in many years. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be slow and historically accurate. Dave, you got to start slipping stuff in. Like, just look to the screen every once in a while and be like, Sherman says we rise at midnight. But anyway.
I did notice in the last episode of Civil War that I recorded, I started calling the Union Yankees.
Oh my.
I noticed that, but I blame that more on the book.
Did you start calling Confederates the Freedom Fighters?
Oh no.
Well, I started calling the series the Second American Revolution.
Oh, you mean the Second War of Northern Aggression? Because we all know what the first one was. All right, anyway. Why might you want to become a console gamer? There are a lot of reasons, but Joel is going to kind of take us through what are some of the main reasons you might want to buy, and we're gonna limit this to current gen consoles, because like if you want to become a PS2 gamer, why do you want to do that? It's because you're at a thrift store, you had $45, and you were like 100 games, working consoles, 6 controllers. I'm in. But
100 games. I had that once.
So
that was a long time ago.
That was like down. You're looking
your
down
first day of purchasing.
Oh, you're so cute with your 100 games.
So anyway, why might you want a current gen console, Joel?
Well, James, you put the whole why right there. Do you want to actually go through that? Because
I put most of it on there.
Only because I was a little confused by the first part when you say like why, like you love gaming. Like I guess my perspective was I was kind of going towards people who maybe don't know much about gaming, because I do know some people that have never really gamed before other than maybe on a phone, and so for them I was thinking like why would they want to get into console gaming?
They're probably not. They're probably not going to be a listener.
But just in case.
But we do have people who listen to the podcast and know other people that are probably maybe ask about games or
absolutely.
PCs and stuff like that. We get lots of emails about, hey, my friend was thinking about getting into gaming and for PC. So
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
Sure those people are. But I liked what James puts as well. Like people love playing games, and so the console market is pretty large, and it is kind of a dedicated gaming system. Where PCs can do everything. consoles kind of can only do gaming. And they have some other little areas and stuff that we'll talk about as well, but they're kind of I think of it as like, okay, I listened to you guys' podcast with James, and James was talking about the arcades, and I kind of think of console gaming a little bit like the arcades, just like you go there kind of for a specific reason. Like, I want to go over there, I'm going to play games, and that's all I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to be going over there managing my taxes, writing documents. You're going to be going there spending lots of quarters to play games. But
I also go there to buy Slurpees and snacks. So that analogy sucked.
Based on Netflix's numbers, I think the number one reason to own a PlayStation 3 is because you like Netflix. But anyway, back to the topic. You love gaming, or you think you might want to get into gaming, and you want a kind of one-stop solution to getting into gaming. A console could do it, unless we're talking about like you want to play League of Legends on your old laptop. Like, that's probably the easiest way to do it. But we're assuming you want to play like lots of different types of games.
Yeah, but if you love gaming, it's worth owning a console. I think it's worth branching out. If you're a PC gamer, it's worth checking out a console, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, James, what other reasons might someone want one?
A lot of cases, you're going to already have some friends that play on consoles, and they may do online games with each other and stuff, and so that's another chance for you to be able to play those games with them. Everybody's doing it, so you should too. That's why Dave got one.
Peer pressure.
Also, the exclusives that you're going to find. I mean, every platform is going to have its exclusives. But you go to these specific systems to play games that you're not going to get on the PC, or you're not going to get on the Nintendo or the Xbox. So it's just new experiences you're not going to get anywhere else. And
I'll say here too that like I'm not a big fan of exclusives for any platform, but one of the big reasons that I got my PS4 was to play Bloodborne with Joel, and that was a fantastic first exclusive for PS4. I've really enjoyed playing that. So that is a good reason. Like, I don't like it, but there's good games that are still exclusives. Like, it's just the reality of it.
And did you play Uncharted since you got it? Or is it just kind of in there?
Dave has never played an Uncharted game. So, Dave, I don't want you to get the Uncharted collection until we can go through it together. It's special.
But Jeremiah, right this second, since last night, my PS4 has been downloading the demo at probably like 42K a second. Like, it's almost done. All
right, well, try the demo. But I don't want to be the type of thing where you play like 20 minutes and then you go and play City Skylines and The Witcher for like another 45 hours. Like, because take it from all of us who have played Uncharted, it's best experienced in one big marathon, like rainy afternoon.
Like a movie marathon.
Because you can beat one in like 6 hours. They're not super long games.
But they're just fantastic from start to finish.
We need to disable the screenshot taking mode at like Last of Us. You can stop time and look at
Turn it off. Turn it off. I'll go back.
Anyway, what are some of the awesome features about consoles? And this doesn't mean these are features that are like exclusive, only consoles have this feature, but these are some of the
some of the focuses.
Yeah, the focuses
you'll get on consoles.
Yeah. You want to take the first two, James?
Sure. Not that this is important to everybody, but physical media is obviously still very prevalent on the console.
Important to people who live with areas with bad internet.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of the country.
Or collectors, right, James?
Yep, collectors are amazing, and also if you want to let your friend borrow a game, you can.
Mm-hmm. What?
But even better is you can rent games.
Yes,
which is still wrapping my mind around that.
The potato masher has been made possible through GameFly.
GameFly and Redbox.
Redbox.
Yeah, because like a lot of the games we test, I was getting on the PC anyway, or someone I know owns it, and I can borrow their Steam account or something. But it is really nice just to be able to like. Where I live, there are 10 red boxes within a mile as the crow flies of my location. So somebody has it if it's like a AAA game. And if it isn't, GameFly can get it to me within like a week. So that's nice for just trying games too. Like it is really cool to be able to rent games and give them back. And there are like PC streaming services that technically let you do it. But streaming, as far as I'm concerned, even like PlayStation Now, which we're going to talk about, it's not there yet. Like maybe it'll get there, but it's not where it needs to be for it to be worth it. It's like
if it can hold it, it works fine for games like Journey, where it's like you don't have to have fast like controller. Like, it's okay if it's a little bit lag. You can't even tell for those games.
Have any of you guys tried PS Now?
I have,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not bad, but it's still like not the way I want to experience games if I have a choice.
But the best thing about that is you get resale value. So if you buy a game and you're done, you sell it. You trade it in fast enough, you get a Call of Duty game, and you haven't rented it and played it in 6 hours and beat it. Or if you actually buy it, you can actually take it in and probably get at least maybe 80% of what you paid for it.
Yeah.
Which is decent for, resale.
And like a game like Grand Theft Auto 4, obviously it was dirt cheap in between the GTA 5 game, but right before GTA 5 came out, you could sell that game, which was at GameStop would be only like $1.50. It was like $12 or $15 that they were buying it back for because people were wanting to play the last game and stuff. So having an actual physical game, other than for sharing and stuff like that, you can get money back for it. And most places, especially Walmart, you could buy a game and return a goat as the game, and they would take it.
Now, some people do have issues with buying used games because the developers don't directly profit from that, and you are playing a game that, So there is definitely a debate to be had there. Maybe that should be a podcast topic sometime. But used games,
I think they build a little bit of that cost into the
whether they do or not, it makes you more likely to buy their next game. And it brings more people into your ecosystem.
It's not as bad as I'd say illegally downloading a game.
Oh, definitely not.
At least
definitely
someone's getting money.
Someone's profiting.
GameStop. But yeah, so it's, whether we're not saying that's the best way to do it or that's the worst way to do it or anything, but we're saying that is something you definitely can do. And I definitely have sold games. I've bought used games and sold used games. I mean, there reaches a point where sometimes that's the easiest way to get stuff, especially if it's on an older platform. So we're just, we're not making a judgment there. We're just saying that is definitely a nice feature about it if you like to take advantage of it. So what else, Joel?
I really like consoles are designed to blend into your living room decor. They are, because Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo, they do sell the systems at a lower cost than they've actually paid to develop, at least initially, for at least for usually about 2 years. It's been awesome that PS4 has actually been making more. They made money back within the first year on it. They've already gotten the cost down, but most of the time, so you are getting a better product for a lower price, and they try to make it fit in with everything, kind of like a nice looking DVD player or a sound system or things like that. It's not, yes, you can get a really awesome PC case, but they try to make it seem just really user friendly as much as possible because it's going to have a lot of wear and tear on it and abuse, but they try to make it fit in really.
Well, the benefit is that because it's a very focused platform, they can get things smaller, such as the power supply. I mean, you look at a PC.
Or in Xbox's case, you can just move that outside of the system into a brick that's this large.
I don't.
You can build your house upon that box.
I don't get. Sony must have like a little magical power supply inside.
No, they built it out of a laptop parts. That's what I mean. It's that easy. Have you heard the fan when it gets going? It's a laptop.
Yeah,
it's a beefy laptop.
But they know exactly where this console is going.
Right.
Unlike most other devices, like this one's, it's mostly going into living rooms or in an area that you're going to have an entertainment shelf or desk. So,
and then
Go ahead.
What else? What's another awesome reason you would want one in your living room?
I think everybody gets all annoyed when they do conferences and they start talking about multimedia features. But then when they get their console, that's one of their most used features. Of course you play games, but Netflix on a console is you've already got it connected. It's already partially on anyway, so it's in standby. You just turn it on really fast and there you go. Pop in Netflix.
It's just pretty much the best Blu-ray player you can get.
For high quality movie watching, I always prefer a computer with all my Blu-rays ripped onto the hard drive. But if you're going to stream stuff, I think a console is definitely, it's one of the easiest ways to do it.
Why would you not want to play a Blu-ray movie on?
You're the lowest common denominator, Jeremiah.
Why would it be better ripping it?
Because Blu-ray discs especially have FBI warnings. They have previews that take a minute to buffer off the internet. They have menus that you have to navigate through with a controller that does not have it's not as simple as an old
you
DVD
don't
thing.
like special features and stuff, do you?
No, I do, but I can watch those. But I mean, if I just want to watch the movie, I just rip all my movies. It's easier to have one hard drive, all the movies stay in a box, and then they're all on a hard drive at HD quality.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
So those 2 minutes before the movie starts, Like you're trying to get past all that. So you'll spend an hour ripping the movie and putting it on a hard drive so that you can skip the 2 minutes.
I do it while I'm at work. I have my workflow is completely automated, James. You're not
Good one,
gonna,
James.
Yeah,
Good
you're
one,
not going to make
James.
me feel bad. I have an automated workflow.
Does it take you 2 minutes to set up the next disc to start ripping and stuff?
Less?
Anyway, whatever.
Sure.
And it's not just about me. It's
It
also
takes
about
only
the people.
2 minutes to copy the insane amount of gigs.
No,
too,
it takes about an hour. And then it takes about 7 hours to encode it into a good format. You guys act like I'm sitting there like grinding a crank the entire time. You tell the computer, do this, and then I can play games while my gaming machine makes me movies. But one of the reasons I was going to say why consoles are great to stream stuff is when you're streaming stuff from a web browser, you're at the mercy of Flash or Silverlight, or some new players are finally using HTML5. When you're on a phone or an Apple TV or a console, you're using a different API, a different way of displaying the information. And a lot of those are way more optimized than Silverlight or Flash, which everyone knows Flash is like the worst. It will be replaced, but for the time being, a good way to get...
They keep saying that. They've been saying that for years now. Why hasn't it happened yet?
It's slow. I don't know why it's slow. But anyway, it's a good, it's a really good way to stream stuff, and it's generally pretty high quality. Not maybe as high bitrate as you could in theory get on every other device, but it's certainly very, very good for streaming media. Netflix, Amazon, HBO, Spotify, RDO, iHeartRadio. I don't know. My PS4 keeps alerting me of new things it can do on a pretty regular basis.
And if you get a Wii U, have like an extra little TV.
Wait, can you stream like Netflix to the tablet?
Yeah.
That screen is
you
horrible.
can do everything.
quality.
Trust me, my kids do it.
That screen's so bad, though.
That's good enough for kids.
That's true. Nintendo.
You can watch Netflix on the 3DS too.
What? No.
They have a Netflix app on that.
What
Yeah.
resolution is that screen?
Oh gosh, I think it's like 360p or something like that.
It's like a pocket watch.
The unholy ones. All right. Anyway.
Okay, this next thing, I would definitely agree with James. I used to think that the PC got the best exclusives because I was pretty much only a PC gamer. But I remember James kind of getting me into console games. I mean, I had a Super NES, I had an N64, but then I didn't get
him into console gaming back then. It was more recent than that.
Yeah, more recent. No, when I first got the 360,
When James was in college
I hated
and Joel was 7, and
Like, come here, son. Let me tell you about gaming in my day.
James is the one that held me on my bike as I pedaled for the first time.
When I was babysitting him.
But I would definitely say that, in my opinion, consoles do have the best exclusive games.
Mm-hmm.
For PS4, I think they have some of the best exclusives. And Xbox, they have some of the best exclusives, just overall in the gaming world. But but otherwise, you're gonna find just some really awesome games on, I guess, 2 consoles. Nintendo, you're gonna find some pretty good Mario 2D games. But
and the only challenge I'll give to that, Joel, is I think everything Naughty Dog makes is some of the finest games on any platform.
Yeah.
And I think Forza and Gran Turismo are some of the best simulation. All right, hardcore sim people, you know what I'm talking about. Fun simulation racers that have ever been made.
you have to make sure they
dude.
comment we heard you say something.
To people who like iRacing and R Factor and stuff, they're like,
That's not a simulation.
Gran Turismo is what stupid babies play. Yeah, all right. Anyway, but everything else really comes down to preference. There's some types of games you really only will get on a console, and there are some whole genres of games that literally only are on a PC.
Yeah.
So for the type of games Joel likes, the things like the Naughty Dog games and stuff, the Bloodborns, stuff like that, there are a lot of awesome exclusives on consoles.
Yeah,
And
and
then-
just like you said, Naughty Dog, the Uncharted series, absolutely fantastic. If you're planning to get into console gaming now, the Uncharted series is coming out. 3 games from the PS3 all got HD 60 FPS, and it just looks awesome. And it's if you're gonna buy one game and you've never played any PS4 games before, that would be a great game to get. That would be definitely worth the $60 for 3 amazing games.
I mean, day one. That's why I said, Dave, I am 100% getting it. If you don't want to spend the money.
Oh, okay. Yep. I'm on board. Let's do it. Plan set in stone.
Can you get it digital so I could share? You could share with me.
Oh, I was going to maybe see if you were going to do that. No. I just
You might buy. I'll buy it, Dave.
I was planning on buying it, but Dave, if you want, I think an awesome way to experience that would be on the giant screen, the big sound. Sitting down
Sitting on Jeremiah's lap.
So part of that sounds like a good idea.
I'll do the movement. You can shoot. It'll work great.
Oh, did you guys have younger siblings too? We used to play racing games. My brother would hold down the forward key, and I would do all the steering and braking. He felt like
you really screwed him over.
Yeah,
dude, no, you got the. I mean, that's the most important part. You keep us going forward.
Are you not familiar with what being an older brother is? It's like you screw them over so you leave for college, and then you come back and they don't like you anymore. Anyway, so what else is?
Well, no, I mean
awesome
not even just exclusives, but also you're pretty much guaranteed to get most AAA games.
Most, yeah,
on the consoles,
unless it's a genre that the
80%
PC only has. Like,
right,
Total War is a AAA RTS game. AAA means something a little bit different when it comes to RTS games, but
you won't get many like MMORPG games.
Yeah.
Like, you'll get some. They've kind of slowly started, coming on consoles. I'm curious. There'll probably be some more, but you won't get many of them, and you won't get a lot of RTS games.
Right.
You'll get very, very small few. So, but other than that, I'd say about 80% of the games out there that you want to play, you'll probably be able to play it on a console.
Yeah.
Next, couch co-op focus. There's a lot less. There's I'd say back, in early games, like especially on N64 and stuff like that.
That's pretty much all you had. Is
it was
sitting
co-op
next to someone
games.
and
Yeah,
playing.
there was no really online functions, and so it was just sit by each other, split screen co-op.
I mean, the first consoles you ever networked together to game, wasn't that like Halo on the original Xbox?
No,
I mean, N64 and PlayStation
the
didn't do
PS1
anything.
had like an adapter. Some of them had adapters and stuff like that, but no one ever used them.
Oh, okay.
I think the Dreamcast actually had one as well.
Shane will know. Shane will get
used
back
it.
to us from chat and let us know
Okay.
Probably true.
the history of.
But anyway, so
But
couch co-op.
if you're into that kind of thing, and something that could even save you money, if you have kids that like to play games together, there's a lot of especially like Disney Infinity, Lego games, all sorts of games like that. It works really well with co-op. You need to get a second controller, but you'll be able to play with your kids. And quite a few games offer co-op. Games like Halo, games like Borderlands. The new Battlefront's coming out. It's going to have co-op, local co-op as well.
Minecraft is a big couch co-op at my house.
Playing Minecraft with Joel on vacation on the console was a lot of fun. We have very different playing styles, but we can at least explore together.
Oh gosh, I could.
It was in my first 30 seconds, I fell down to the volcano.
You felt like just like this underground like lair that was like 40 stories deep. You just fell to the earth. It was amazing.
It's funny the playing styles when Joel and I play like Borderlands. He'll be off shooting stuff, so my experience points are going up, but his money keeps going up at the same time. He'll all right, I'll catch up in a minute. I'm like looting. He's getting money. It's a symbiotic relationship.
Does Joel do the thing when you're playing Borderlands with him where he gets really indignant when you just double check the loot again just to make sure?
And then I'll hit the warp button. You're like, son of a gun.
He gets indignant when you want to check it the first freaking time. But anyway. So yeah.
Okay.
That is a focus still of consoles.
And if you really care about that, I think there's nothing better than the Wii U. I mean, Nintendo is still the place to go if you want all four people on a couch playing something like Smash Brothers and screaming at each other. Like, Wii U's the way to go. Or a Wii. I mean, there's still, I guess,
the Wii U even supports, I think, 6 people actually.
Really?
Yeah. For some games, but yeah. Anyways, moving on. Simpler voice chat setup, because especially on a console, you don't have that many options, but what's nice is everyone uses kind of the same thing, which can be very nice, so that if you are going to jump in a game, everyone has voice chat. There is no one who doesn't have voice chat unless they have their mic.
Doesn't have the option, at least, to voice chat.
Yeah. So everyone has the option to voice chat. So sometimes you play in a lot of games where PC, a lot of people really don't chat in video games on PC unless you're in a group, but on console you will find other people. Now that means you'll get any age range playing in the game. And a lot of people say they have lots of like squeakers and stuff. I've never really ever had that experience in any game I've ever played.
You've never had the squeaker,
I've gotten lucky. I've gotten lucky.
Look around all your friends and go,
I'm sure you'll run into it. I've just
squeaker.
never had that experience. Like, guys, I don't hear any good annoying people over there.
Well, no. Maybe you're thinking of something different for squeaker. Squeaker, I lump them in the same person as person who's playing music really loud in the background, because why not?
Yeah.
Person who won't wear headphones. I am looking at you on this one. A person who like is taking their mic and just like rubbing it on their shirt the entire time because no one knows why. And then everyone's favorite person who's like eating chips like into the microphone. Like,
That's James.
I do that.
But
James scared the crap out of me. I was playing Daisy with once, and he just goes, I'm like, oh gosh, what was that? He's like, I'm eating chips. Like,
Someone's eating the bushes right next to me. I heard it.
Dave would hike back into town just in case.
Now, with that comes a caveat. The Xbox Live voice chat works great. Oh, Joel and I were using it last night. It sounds like almost as good as TeamSpeak. You don't have all the flexibility. Like, I think it'd be awesome. There's so many apps for the consoles. I wish you could get something like TeamSpeak. It would make things awesome.
Yeah,
but,
or Skype or something.
yeah, like you said, it is nice.
They're getting to where they're gonna have to get more apps. So they're moving to Windows 10.
Yeah. Yeah, but the only thing that really bugs me about voice chat, it's nice that everyone has it, but man, the PlayStation voice chat quality is so bad. Like, it's worse than a telephone most of the time. Like, I can't. It's nice that they included that tiny little earbud with the console. Like, that is a step in the right direction, and it's a lot more comfortable than the thing the Xbox 360 came with. But man, like the quality is so bad, and it cuts out and it's glitchy and like. Oh.
Actually, I use the gold headset, and that's works
the nice
better.
headsets, they help, but the service is still super low quality. But
yeah, so you have minimum. You don't have as many options, so that's not as good. But something that is nice is though you do have it, and it works with every system, and there's kind of no messing around with it because it's
a give and take. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's really
TeamSpeak doesn't go down, just the whole entire network.
Yeah. If chat goes down, it means all PSN's down, so you can't play a game for possibly an hour.
I mean, that's the whole thing with consoles. There are positives and minuses, and we're talking about like there are a lot of people where most of the positives are the stuff that would matter to them, and that's kind of who we're talking to here. So anyway, go ahead, Joel.
The next one, we have a streaming game service. We talked a little bit before, but PlayStation offers PS Now, which allows you to kind of play old PS3. And I think just PS3 games, but
they're doing PS2.
Oh, cool!
It's coming.
It'd be nice. I think it'd be awesome. That would be like a really good perk if there was like a second tier of PlayStation Plus or something. Like I feel like they would get more people trying it out if they kind of bundled it in with something else. Because like I don't want to stream games enough to really like go through the whole setup process, but it's like every once in a while.
You know how they give away like a couple games a month with PS Plus?
It'd be nice if there was a PS Now game. Yeah.
Even if they said once a month they give you 20 hours to play a PS Now game or something, even if it was a couple hours. That would be
Please
cool.
Please write your congressman and suggest that. That's a good idea.
That would be really fun.
but yeah, that would be a really good way to do it because that doesn't really cost them any extra. It's games they already have the rights to stream. All you're doing is saying, hey, you get, you do
get the 7-day trial. If you didn't already know, you do get a 7-day trial with that.
But it would be cool to say like, all right, so coming to PlayStation Plus this month is, let's say this month was Super Meat Boy. What was the other PS4 game?
I forget. But what if they gave the option to choose? You could get a Super Meat Boy, or they say you give 25 hours of PSN now. That's what they give you, just to choose any game you want.
I doubt it would be that good. I'd put it like 10 hours. Seems like it would probably be a better idea of having it. But still, 10 hours, I mean...
That would be a lot to
you could get through. Yeah, you could pick some AAA game you've never played before and probably get through.
Heck, if they started giving away games from PS Now on there.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Like PS1 classics and stuff that like most people are not. It kind of sucks.
Gran Turismo 1.
I'd play it. When they had the instant game collection, they used to have on PlayStation Plus where as soon as you sign up for it, you have an instant collection of certain games you can access. But then it didn't update as often and stuff. And like it wasn't quite as straightforward as it is now where you just get the 2 games as an option each month. But that was kind of nice because you could instantly have quite a few games to play other than just the 2 or 3 that were available that month. So that'd be a good way to augment that with PlayStation Now. If they wanted to. I think that would be kind of cool.
Anyway, but speaking of PlayStation Plus and subscriptions, one of the big things, I mean, you have to buy PS Plus. I mean,
it's optional, but
if you want to ever play with your friends or use any cool features, you have
Well,
to buy
you
it.
can use Netflix without PS
Right.
Plus, which is, I guess, nice.
Like I said,
I'm sure that every other
like I
internet
said-
device
Yeah,
has.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like I said, cool features.
yeah.
But in the end, I find it worth it. Even before, like, was it PS3? You didn't have to buy that to play online.
Yeah, PS3 had
But I
no-
still like really enjoyed having that membership
Yeah.
because I liked getting those games every month. And I think it definitely paid for itself many times over in that, in
Same
the
here.
course of a year. And it's fun. It's like, ooh, what game's coming up next month that I get to try that I never would have probably bought? Like Shovel Knight. No, not Shovel Knight. There was a game that I bought. What was it?
The little
Was it
cowboy
Steam Dig World?
Yeah,
Steam World Dig?
or something. Steam World Dig. Yeah, there we go.
That was a game that I probably would have never bought it, but I got it free and played it. I was like, wow, this is actually really fun, and played it all the way
I would
through
say
in one sitting.
it's a nice little bonus because for me there's a lot of games I just would never probably buy and play. Like I'm like, it looks like fun, but I'm like, I don't really want to pay $5 for it or even $10 or $2 for it. But it's like, oh, it's free. I'm like, I might try it out today. And so it sometimes you kind of be pleasantly surprised.
It does kind of suck though.
Games.
It does kind of suck though. Like if you have an Amazon membership, an HBO Now membership, a Spotify membership, Netflix, Xbox Live, and PSN, and those are all the ones I have. So I'm speaking from experience. It does kind of add up over a while. Like if you buy it for a year, it becomes like $375 a month. It kind of works out to you for PlayStation Plus. Like
if you don't buy it on sale, most of the times you can buy it for like $40
for the whole year, right? So that would be like $3.25 per month or something. Like it's pretty reasonable. It does kind of suck if you have like a couple consoles though. I don't think
But
$8 isn't the end of the world, but they do at least they used to like for the Xbox 360, it was just that gets you access to the internet. But I think the PlayStation Plus has really kind of invigorated Microsoft to start giving you actual perks. So they've got the games with gold thing now, and like they're starting
they
to step it up, too.
just gave away Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
The
that's
definitive
pretty
edition.
good.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
They're all starting to step it up. So you are getting some value for your money. In some months, like it's probably stuff that may not appeal to you that much, but other months, like Rocket League. I mean, that was a game we all definitely would have bought.
No, for me, I would have bought, but I never would have even thought about getting it.
We would have bought it. Like we would
You
have
would have bought
happily
it
paid.
after you got the word of mouth, but
Exactly.
you guys were kind of like everybody kind of caught on at the
We
same
would have
time.
happily paid $20 for the game, so that would have been a half year of PlayStation Plus. So if you get one hit every 6 months, like it kind of is worth it at that point. But
It's something that I actually really like about the PS Plus games that Sony does. Yes, it'd be really cool if they had some really big AAA games, more often. But for me, because they would probably be a year and a half or 2 years late, I usually get those. Like those are the games I'm probably interested in buying. I kind of enjoy that they are more of the obscure games because if, let's say, it came out right now, it was like Killzone. I'm like, well, that's cool, but I already got it like 2 years ago when it came out and played it. So I really wouldn't care about getting it for free now. Like I would not touch it. So for me personally, I kind of like that it's more of the obscure games that I just would never think about getting because it's kind of interesting seeing what's out there, what's different, something that I might not buy. And then every once in a while there's a cool game like Last Light or what was the one the Second Son.
yeah,
Infamous, Infamous Second Son, like the DLC one. I really enjoyed that. I wanted to get it. It was $15 when it came out, so it was a free game. So I really.
There are a lot of Pantheon was cool. What else?
But
it doesn't matter.
Rocket League is the first multiplayer game I've ever played on my own that I play consistently. I've never played any other multiplayer game just consistently on my own. I always have to play with someone else. So, shall we move on to simplicity?
Yeah, and that's kind of the biggest single drawing factor of a console is a lot of the cool choices you can make with a PC. Yes, they are cool, but if you don't want to have to make those choices and you just want to start playing games, the simplicity of a console can be a great way to do that because it is going to play the games. Like you don't have to make that many big decisions about it. You can just buy this and you have a whole shelf of games you can look at and go, I know I can just take these home right now and I can play. But sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You were saying something.
So when you get a console, it used to be, so things have kind of changed as consoles and PCs kind of homogenize a little bit more, even more this generation because they're all x86. It used to be you buy the console, you take it home, you pull it out of the box, you plug it into the TV. I mean, 10 minutes or less, you could be in a game. Unfortunately, nothing is quite so easy these days. Everything you buy, cell phones, smartwatches, tablets, computers, consoles, everything has to connect to the internet and download updates, or it's going to be horribly broken a lot of the time. So consoles, it's not a bad thing that they do it. It's just, it's not quite like it used to be, and that's a little bit of a bummer. But you will need to, the setup's easy, but it might take a little while because you got to connect to the internet and you got to let it download stuff, and you can't really do anything else with it while it's installing updates. You do kind of just have to let it sit. And you can do like minimal stuff, but until it's installed all these updates, you can't really like play much.
Setup can be extremely simple if you have good internet. And sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating if you have slower internet, or if you just have a harder time doing sign up things, checking count, like if that's something that's a little bit more, complicated for you. And some people are very internet savvy, email savvy kind of stuff. But if it's something that you have a hard time with, it can be a little complicated. But overall, it's a very simple, very, very simple setup where you just kind of let it go. It might take a while as it lets it go, but there's not much you do once you get things set up.
And the benefit also is that both the main systems, Nintendo, but Xbox and PS4 will do a lot of their updates now in their suspend mode.
Yeah, so if you let it be asleep, it'll do it for you.
Yeah, and it's a very low power mode, but it'll do all your updates for your games. It'll do the update often for your system itself. So when you turn it on, you don't have to worry about doing all that stuff. It's really more so when you buy a new game, you have that expectation of I'm going to pop it in and play. Usually you get the little message, update, and so you got to wait for they don't take that long.
No,
usually it's like 30 minutes at max. It seems like to download like the patches for games
for a big one.
Yeah.
A lot of time it's only like 2 or 3 minutes.
And some games you can start playing before the patch is all the way downloaded. It depends. Like I think actually Forza 6 let me start playing while it was downloading the patch in the background and installing. But I got to the first race quick enough that I then had to sit for like 10 minutes. I was like, it
tried. Yeah, that is a pretty cool feature.
Jeremiah is when he plays.
That is a really cool feature though.
It is.
Almost all PS4 games, if you buy it on disc or download it, the game it's installing while you're playing it. So it will give you like the first prologue mission or whatever for whatever game it is. And so if you're a slow player, you might be able to play it and like get finished and like, sweet, I can already play the rest of the game. But I played through pretty quick, and then it was like, you still have 15 gigs left. I was like, oh, son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, at least with Xbox, I don't know about PS4. Xbox One will, like, as you're downloading, it'll get to a certain point where it lets you start playing. I don't think PS4 does that.
No, it does the same thing.
Actually, guess who else does it, and you might be surprised. Uplay.
Really?
Yep. All Uplay games. I don't know if you noticed this, but because they, it's Ubisoft, they control everything on the service. All the ones I've played on there so far, so Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Far Cry,
I knew
all
Watch
those
Dogs
games.
could do it, yeah.
You can start playing the same thing, like after it's installed, like 10-15% of it, which I guess is kind of cool. I mean, it seems kind of weird to go, man, Uplay, what a great feature, thank you. But that is actually kind of cool.
I just can't imagine the amount of effort that goes on behind the curtain to make that functional and to test it all. And then you're just like, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like there's like hundreds of people who are like, I slaved for months.
Pretty cool.
My family forgot what I looked like.
But you already mentioned this. But games are when you get them, they're pretty much optimized for the system. So you don't have to tweak. You don't have to set it up to make it run on your system. It's pretty much ready to go.
Unless you like inverted controls, and then pretty much every time you got to go and be like, why do they hate me?
Actually, a lot of times I find that it keeps my inversion.
With that note, now you can go into PS4 settings and actually set a controller-wide settings for every game.
Oh, that's cool. Okay,
yeah, you can save that, so every game you jump into is already inverted.
I had one friend who played through Uncharted 2 with us on my PlayStation 3, and he was inverted, so every time we hand the controller off, he had to go, like, every time he played Call of Duty, like, oh, those inverted players are the worst.
That's me.
Yeah, James did that to a couple of my games I went to go play. I was like, what is this?
They're like vegetarians.
We're healthier, though. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, so all you really need to change is anything that might be your preference. Like the biggest option you have to change on most games these days is they make you pick the brightness depending on your TV.
Yeah, you can do screen scaling if there's like an overscan issue, which has really not ever been an issue for me.
Like on modern high definition TVs, I don't know if that's really a thing, but they have it. On my PlayStation 2, it was funny. I could go pick if I wanted it to display in 480i, 480p for Gran Turismo 4, or 1080i. None of them had any discernible visual difference because it's a standard def TV and everything's fuzzy anyway, but they let you do it. I think that's the only console game that has ever let you pick your own resolution. It's like weird, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a guarantee. Like if the game runs poorly on the system, it's running poorly on everybody's system. Like it's not because you have a wrong piece of hardware or you mess something up. Like if it's bad for everybody, and there'll probably be patches pretty soon.
Speaking of which, Joel, the Witcher patch that's due before the new DLC comes out is supposed to have significant PS4 frame rate improvements, like big time improvements.
Good, because like two patches ago, they had significant frame rate degradation, so it's nice of them to fix that now.
I haven't seen too much. It's actually been pretty smooth. The only time it gets pretty bad is fighting those like night wraiths or noon wraiths.
Do you think there was going to be a lot of slowdown when you were playing Gwent?
Just like I need 60 FPS Gwent.
Yeah, just like I haven't noticed
smoothly.
I haven't noticed bad frame rates at all. Like the cards just flip so well every time. What dips are you guys talking about? The game? The main game?
I totally forgot there was another game. I just kept keeping
another game.
Next.
Joel's like, okay. I hate this like mini game you have to play to get into Gwent. It's really annoying. You have to walk and find the merchant.
How do I find the next dealer?
Well, it's like Pokemon. You got to go meet new people and battle them to get their cards and stuff. I mean, that seems,
Oh man.
Okay, this next segment is actually I was reminded.
Next segment or next item?
The next actual little item. Not all consoles. Okay, this generation you don't have to ever do any hardware. Like you'll never have to Sony will ever say, "Hey guys, you guys need to install a new new hard drive." Like, unless it breaks, you won't ever have to upgrade the system. It will work until the whole console is completely dead. Like if they discontinue it. But there was a console they had to upgrade. Do you guys know which one you had to upgrade to play a game?
We're not counting the Xbox 360, right? Because 95% of people had
peripherals or what?
I guess you'd be a peripheral, but you had to have it to play a game.
This feels like it's going to be a Dreamcast story.
Nintendo
64. Do you remember the little expansion pack?
Yeah.
It came with, I think it was like 32 megs of RAM or something, and you had to have it to play, I think, Ocarina of Time.
Perfect Dark. Ocarina of Time. Perfect Dark, Donkey
Majora's Mask. Yeah, Donkey Kong. I think it was
Majora's Mask.
Yeah. I remember that. I was like, what? I didn't even know there was a little top slot to add anything. And yeah, I thought that was really cool. But I think that's the only console that I remember that you actually had to upgrade hardware.
Yeah, let's go further back to the Sega Genesis, where you had to have the Sega Genesis to add the Sega CD. You had to have the two connected because it used a Genesis processor with the disc storage.
Remember the 32X?
And then the 32X that popped on. And then they could actually be combined.
And then
then Atari thought it was such a good idea. They did it too. And then NEC did it also with their
there was a network adapter. There was a network adapter and a hard drive for one Final Fantasy game for the PlayStation 2. Remember the hard drive add-on? It would slide into the big back thing. One game. Come on, guys.
PlayStation 2 had the same thing with what game was it? Was it also Final Fantasy?
No, I was saying PlayStation 2.
Oh, the Dreamcast had that then. Dreamcast had the network capability for just
and it also had
one
that
game.
Stupid controller with the cable that came out the front side.
So anyway, now that we've kind of disproved our point, there should, for modern consoles, there should be no mandatory hardware upgrades over the life of the system. If it's fast enough to play it now, assuming nothing breaks, it will be fast enough to play it then. That said, over the lifetime of most consoles, they come out with a much smaller, thinner, quieter version, usually when they make it cheaper. So there's a very good chance you'll want to upgrade at some point, and they'll probably have a bigger hard drive in it at that point too. But you can still use the old version. Wasn't John using an original Xbox 360?
Yes, he was.
And I had an original fatty 60 gig PS3 until last year. It worked fine up until the end. I mailed it to Chris so he could play The Last of Us, and it broke in transit.
It was the Last of Us.
So there aren't many people, given the last generation, we don't know many people who had one console their entire time.
Yeah.
But they get progressively cheaper
my
and
360
better.
lasts for 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years
seems to be a good happy medium.
Then I sold it, but it was But anyway.
I still have my originals. I still have the Nintendo 64 and stuff like that.
Oh, they don't count. They don't break.
Yeah.
That's different.
My GameCube lasted for a long time until it fell off of the table.
Yeah, you cannot break a GameCube unless you actually break a GameCube.
Ah, man.
How did you...
Actually, okay. So
have to-
technically,
I
James,
put the CD in and I crushed it with my thumb.
I mean, the GameCube just didn't break unless you did physical damage to it.
The
Yeah,
laser eye arm, I had to strip the gear on the laser arm.
What were you
I was
doing?
gonna say,
Taking the game out too fast?
Not only did it survive, or not only it did eventually die, right, James? Physical damage was what caused it, but it still survived 2 falls off the table onto the floor, like a hardwood floor, twice. The last one, the third one, it landed on the corner, and like the lid popped open, and you're like, oh, that's not good.
Mine, I took the GameCube to people's houses to play multiplayer games because this is back when the GameCube, like when Nintendo actually got like third-party games. Because I had some racing games, I had Star Wars, I had James Bond, like stuff with some good co-op. And the GameCube was so small, you could just pick it up, a bunch of games, all the controllers, and shove the whole thing into a backpack, and it weighed like 5 pounds. So I would take it to people's houses all the time, and in transit once, somehow the gearing for the little laser arm that slid it back and forth got messed up. To Nintendo's credit, we called them. It was still under warranty. We dropped it off at a UPS center on a Tuesday. The console was back in our house, I kid you not, Thursday afternoon. And I made a mark on the bottom to make sure it was our console. Our console was repaired.
So like a guy hijacked the UPS truck,
Yeah,
fix
like,
it en route, and just redivert
It's like
it.
they fold into the GameCube, back up to Nintendo of America. I mean, probably they got it. Some guy takes out 3 screws, pops in a whole new assembly. They stick it back in the mail. It probably took 10 minutes, but like the turnaround time was so blazingly fast.
On the customer side, that's amazing.
As
Yeah.
opposed to when I bought a PS2 and it didn't work, and Sony's official answer was, you shouldn't have used a third-party memory card. Everyone knows they break consoles. And I was like, I don't feel like that's true based on like everyone else I've ever met who owns one, but sure. So I took it back to Walmart because they don't care, and they gave me all my money back in cash. Walmart. Abusing their workers. Prices are low.
They're not. They're not low.
But they're yeah. But anyway, no mandatory hardware upgrades. That's what we were saying. But you
James,
but
you
you
wanna take this
can.
next?
Well, no, you can upgrade if you want to though. Hard drives.
We're going to get to that because that's
Sorry.
one of the things we definitely recommend.
Right, sorry, I messed
recommend
up.
at least.
But
I
under
messed up.
simplicity, there's
don't
nothing.
have
You
to.
set it and forget it.
You said it. You let it install its own updates, and you forget it.
Also, along with the upgrades and stuff, when you buy hardware, you don't have to worry about downloading drivers and setting the controller up or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Like it literally is plug and play. I mean, you can't go and buy a PS3 controller and plug it into a PS4 and expect it to play, but as long as it's set up for the system, I mean, you get it. You don't have to ever worry about your drivers.
And the only exception there is if you buy like a racing wheel setup, you will have to do some configuration to get it all set up. But if you're doing that, you're already committed and it doesn't matter. Like that's not going to dissuade you. But I think that's literally the only peripherals that require anything beyond like charging, plugging in, and like a simple pairing procedure, and that's it. Which is really nice.
And the last point is, for kids, if you have kids, it's definitely a smaller learning curve to start out on gaming on a console, just like they start out on their little like MobiGo or in a tab or those kind of devices.
All right, person who has kids, you're saying a lot of words I don't know. What's the
Yeah, I would say
tab?
Go shopping every once in a while.
Where?
I mean,
Toys R Us?
Yeah. Target.
I think, and James is correct, I think, because when using a controller, I mean, all the buttons are labeled. When you play the games, every icon is labeled according to controller stuff. So if you have dedicated equipment and dedicated hardware, it's pretty self-explanatory most of the time.
Especially if you're too young
yeah.
to read, because you can see what all that is, like left, right, all that stuff kind of makes sense. The one exception would be the original Xbox controller. Kids don't play those. Like you have to attach like
you need
sticks.
2 kids to play that.
Yeah, like it's like
They would sit on each joystick and lean back and forward. And make it move. Jeremiah, did you have to use the fat controller? Like, could you not use the smaller one?
I said we make fun. I was about to bring it up. To be fair, that was my favorite.
Favorite or the only one you can use?
I thought I could use an Xbox One
Controller
controller.
made for me.
It's a little bit small. But
I love how he's like, it's small.
I could wrap my hands all the way around it, but
I will call him George.
all right.
But no, my son's pretty smart, so he can get on the computer and I can set him up. He'll play Minecraft on the computer or Lego World or any number of other games. But there still is that setup factor where I have to, log him into Windows, and he can launch the apps and stuff by himself. But sometimes he needs a little help shutting down and stuff to make sure the program shut down. But with the console, he's very proficient at recording clips and downloading levels for Minecraft and downloading demos if he wants to. It's a little more locked down, so I don't have to worry about him, screwing up my taxes. Same with my daughter. I mean, she's about to turn 4, but she gets the concept of the controller. If it tells her what button to push on the screen, she can look down and tell what letter it is and then push it. So the learning curve is a little lower for the console, I think.
Yeah.
And I also want to add, when there is errors on a console, it's not like you can just bring up a mod thing or be able to type in and figure out problems, or like on a PC, let's say it freaks out and you have to reboot it and it goes into like safe mode or something like that. There's some different selections you have to do. If you don't know what you're doing, you could maybe hit a wrong button or go into the wrong setting. But there's only one option: power it off, restart it. If it's not already fixed, like that either fixes the problem or restarts the game, or the system is broke. But on a PC, there could be other options involved where, like, hey, you have a driver issue or something's somehow installed twice and it has a conflict and like that. The PS4 is not going to probably happen. Something like that's probably not going to happen as much. Mm-hmm. You have less options to fix it, but you have less options to break it.
I was going to say, out of both of my current gen consoles, I've only had the first actual problem with any one of them the other day, and my Xbox would not load any games. But all I had to do was just unplug it. Like, turning it off didn't work, but I physically unplugged it and let it sit, and then plugged it back in, and it was fine.
Made it think about what he had done. Sit in the corner for a while.
I thought there was like, do you want to Forza? Do you want to now? But see, that's the first problem I've had, and it was pretty easy to fix. And granted, it doesn't tell you a lot of information about the problem. It just says, no, totally, I'm loading games right now. Games, just wait a couple minutes, come back, get a drink, 3, maybe take a nap. I'll still be loading Forza. Don't worry.
900 of you will be waiting for you.
I'm working for you, boss. I'm working for you. But yeah, it's pretty good. So maybe you're convinced, okay, all right, I'm ready. I'll try a console. Well, which one? There are so many to choose from. Might I suggest you go down to your local thrift store, get a PlayStation 2, and enjoy the greatest console that's ever been made. But if you want to buy a current one, because you have a high definition TV.
Whoa. SNES.
Depending on how much...
PlayStation 2.
SNES.
Think about the ages we both were and why that makes sense that we both care about them. Let's shake hands and move on.
No, you just didn't get a chance to experience it.
I did. A friend of ours had...
Properly.
What does properly mean?
When were you born?
89.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Oh, shut up, Joel. You're only like 5 years older than me. Or 4 years. No, you're about to turn 30, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're only 4 years older than me. I just turned 26. Yeah, that's not that big of a difference.
But you just always surprise me because I feel like you're the same age as us, but you're not really the same age.
He's an old
us.
soul.
Who are you looping into us? Dave, you're like, what, 27?
27, yeah.
Yeah,
Dave is the oldest one on the podcast.
What does that mean?
I mean, he's got the oldest spirit. He's got routines.
Unless it's early in the morning, and then James, you're definitely the oldest anything. And he was James, old and creaky.
What time do you get up,
James
Jeremiah?
warns us while the weather's gonna happen. It's like, guys, I feel like it's about to start raining over there. Like, how do you know? Elbows out.
The old trick hip. Yep, storms are coming.
But anyway, you got to choose. You have to choose.
I was gonna say,
what console you want to play on.
If you're gonna be buying a console, you might be the kind of person that, if you're not already looking for cheap stuff to buy or whatever, you could buy all 3 instead of buying that $1,200 PC you were thinking about buying.
You could, but if you don't have any consoles, all 3 might be a little bit jumping in the deep end.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Those updates, our updates will block out the sun.
Can you imagine how hot your living room would get?
Okay, James, do you want to take the Xbox One since you're the most deal savvy on that one?
Actually, Jeremiah's has played it the most. Let's let Jeremiah
for the
go.
Xbox One, I think I'm the right person. I won't tell you why I got it because those are very petty reasons. Well, I'll tell you. Microsoft was like during E3, they showed off the Minecraft demo with the HoloLens, and I was like, the hype is real. I mean, all of us were just sitting there like, is this the future? We just walked into the future.
My mouth was just probably
ignoring
sore
that
afterwards.
I couldn't actually go out and buy that experience. But they said, hey, if you have an Xbox 360 of this certain model, we're going to give you $175 towards an Xbox One. And then there was some deal going on at Best Buy where Xbox Ones dropped in price, and I had the exact right model of Xbox One, and everything just worked out marvelously. But
so did I.
Yeah, and that's why Joel got one too. But the advantages of an Xbox One, it's kind of like if you like Halo, which is a significant portion of people who play games, there's only one system to play it on. If you played on the Xbox 360, most of your friends probably got an Xbox. A lot of people jump ship to PS4, but like, if all your friends have one particular system, that's probably the one you should get. If they have multiple systems, it's more of a decision. But for the Xbox One, Halo is a huge drawing factor. A lot of people feel like the Xbox One has the most ergonomic controller. It's an updated version of the Xbox 360 controller, which is generally considered to be pretty awesome. So if that's going to be a concern for you, awesome. Very like non-divisive controller. Everyone pretty much likes it.
It makes a good PC controller too.
It does make a great PC controller, which the PS4 one's pretty good too, but the Xbox one is plug and play. Like it's incredibly easy. If you have Windows 10 and you game on that, the Xbox One has some nice features. You can use Windows 10 as a DVR. You can run stuff through your Xbox One. You can stream your Xbox One to your PC if you have Windows 10.
Does that work yet?
Yeah. And
have you tried it?
You can't stream. No, you can't stream your PC to your Xbox One, which is what I want. You can stream your Xbox One to your PC.
It actually works really well, so well that Dave and I were using TeamViewer to fix Arma mods, and I was like, "Hey, check this out." I was streaming it to my computer and then streaming it to Dave over TeamViewer, and he's watching me play a game.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome.
It's kind of cool.
It was like 8 FPS, but it was working.
and this is something that people did kind of make fun of the Xbox One for, but for some people this will matter. If you still need a DVR, an Xbox One can be a great way to do it because they have an HDMI pass through. So
I use the HDMI pass through. It's really.
Oh my gosh!
convenient.
I just realized if I upgraded to Windows 10, I could do that.
Yeah,
I have an Xbox One. I wasn't even thinking about I could do that. Dang it! Now that makes me want to.
I can have a new
Windows
place
10.
to play that I'll never go play.
Well, I can play.
He'll bring his
Halo up
PC
here.
downstairs.
and the last thing is, if you're a console racing fan, like me, Gran Turismo was a huge part of my childhood. I mean, Gran Turismo was a seminal simulation racing franchises. If you have a PlayStation 4, you have been very let down by the racing games Sony has been handing out to you. But Forza is everything Gran Turismo used to be, except for a couple exclusive cars, but like that's a tiny, tiny thing. Forza has a lot more DLC than Gran Turismo ever did, but the quality of the franchise is just as good. So if you like Halo or really like racing games, I think an Xbox can totally be the way to go. And it's actually the cheap option now. It started out as $500. That didn't last long. You can routinely get them for $320, $330 with a game and some free Xbox Live now. Like they've really dropped the prices on them. So if you're looking to cheaply get into current gen gaming, it's definitely going to be cheaper than a PS4. So it's big, it's kind of heavy, and it gets very, very hot. But if you have the room to stash it, like it looks nice, it's very professional looking, very high quality. And so far I think definitely playing it the most out of anyone in the group. The menu is all kinds of terrible, but they're going to be upgrading that to basically Windows 10, which I think is supposed to make it better. We'll see.
Now they have significantly more apps that you can download for streaming media and
they
stuff.
do have some good ones. Their Twitch app is fantastic.
It's
the best way to watch Twitch.
PS4 is getting official Twitch app.
That's good.
Twitch app.
That's one of my favorite features is when I'm looking like in the store, like, oh, that game looks kind of cool. Let me watch. Oh, look, there's a stream. Someone's streaming right now. Go straight to the stream, watch it. If I want to keep looking at streams, I can do that, or I can go back to the store. It's amazing.
And it's really cool. You can also, like, if you're starting up a party, one thing kind of sucks on the PlayStation is if we're trying to get people into a party to start playing, we have to hop back out to the main menu, add people to the party, hop back into the game, hop back out if there's a problem. On the Xbox, you can snap your party thing to the side window, kind of like running the game in windowed mode for a couple minutes. While you get that all set up, you can just kind of flip between them. And then as soon as you're ready, you just unsnap and you go right into it. So like it's got a couple like really PC-like features, and I do mean that in a good way. Like it has quite a few little features where it's obvious that people were thinking about multitasking with it. So
I like the multitasking, honestly. Like the snap feature is kind of, it can be a little wonky sometimes, but being able to use it to record your clips and stuff, you don't go out to another screen. It pops up on that side. You can say, I mean, you can actually, if you have the Kinect, you can do the voice commands. But like even for TV, if you have the TV running through it, it'll play through that. Like when you go to the main menu, I have it set up to where my TV automatically turns on, like my TV signal. So the TV's signal's already on. I could technically change channels and like still be in the menu, looking around and listening to whatever's on or watching it.
Yeah, it's
while loading a game or something, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
And I will say for now, if voice chat's really important to you and you're going to play a lot with friends, the voice chat on the Xbox One is so much better. I mean, it's just, again, to some people that doesn't really bother you, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it does bother me, if I'm being honest, because I'm so used to TeamSpeak, that it's a significant difference on the Xbox One. It's really, really good. And the last thing, sorry, before we go to the PS4, is both the PS4 and the Xbox One have suspend and resume, so you can suspend the console and hop right back into a game.
That's a great feature.
It is, but for whatever reason, it seems to work better on the Xbox One. Like it's on the PS4.
I found that it works better on the PS4. I don't know. I've checked all the settings. It works like 5 out of 10 times, like just half the time.
Oh, see, on the Xbox One, I find myself like, if I'm like exporting an audio thing, I've got 6 minutes while it exports this. My computer's kind of tied up. I'll turn on the Xbox, turn to the side, and like bust out a quick race in Forza. Like it actually has been the ultimate pick up and play really quickly machine.
My only issue with that is I'll forget that it's even there, and so I'll hit that middle button, and it'll go into a game like, oh, that game's still going.
Yeah, that sometimes we'll be like, it's like, I paused in the middle of a race.
Here, I told something to Dave that I thought was really cool. On Xbox and the same on PS4, but playing Witcher 3, it's a game with tons and tons of dialogue and lots of cutscenes. Well, I kind of got into a cutscene unexpectedly, and I couldn't get at, like, it was just a long one, and I didn't really. I already spent about 20 minutes in the cutscene in that scene. I didn't want to redo it again, but I had to leave. So I literally just put it into suspend mode. I went away. Went on the Guatemala trip, came back. I booted up the PS4. It was right at the cutscene. It came right back to life, and it was fine. So that was actually really cool. Like I didn't save anything. I just put it to suspend mode, and it was good to go. So.
In like Metal Gear style, like the Wild Hunt died of old age while you were out of the country. Like, I beat the game. Thanks, PS4 rest mode.
Now, Joel, I think you're probably the best person to talk about PS4.
Yeah.
Why do you think someone should choose a PS4? Other than
right now, if you do care about probably the best graphics on console right now, PS4 and Sony have definitely been getting probably almost
the best.
Almost most of the time they get about 1080p
consistently
1080p for their games. Where the Xbox is kind of struggling to keep up in that area. If it's not first party games like Halo and stuff, they'll make sure it's 1080p. But
not games, Halo 5.
Yeah.
Halo 5 is going to have
adjusting
dynamic resolution, which is not something you want to hear.
Hey, 1080p in this area. Oh, wait. Other characters on the screen. Dip.
It turns into like 2D paper. People like,
do I look like I know what dynamic super resolution is? I would prefer if they just stuck with the one lower resolution and then just like upped the anti-aliasing or the reflections or whatever. Like if they're going to do lower resolution, it can still look good. Just stick to one. But anyways,
PS4 with the PlayStation Plus, I think they have some really good games they give.
Oh, let me stop you.
What?
With the graphics, they haven't had as much yet, but the first party games, if it's anything like the PS3 was, when they released their exclusives, they look fantastic.
Well, Killzone Shadowfall and the Infamous game, those both looked fantastic. I thought,
and
awesome.
That's like those are launch games, like launch window games.
They look better than most everything that's come out.
I imagine the PS4 is probably going to last probably at least 8 years. I think.
But I think about what Heavy Rain did for the PS3, just visually, and Last of Us, just like what they were able to push out of that little 256 megs of RAM console. I'm hoping that they'll be able to do that with the PS4.
Sony definitely gives you some treats of games here and there that are just pretty phenomenal looking. But I really like the controller. It's got a motion controller. It's got a kind of a touchpad that's very much like
that
a
middle
mouse
button.
trackpad.
That middle button has been the best.
I love it. Yeah, the middle button you can click on the left side or the right side, and it's also touch sensitive like a mouse trackpad. So for certain games, scrolling around on a map is really nice. And there's a little light on the back of the controller that I actually like for some games.
I like it too, honestly.
It will flash like if you're getting chased by cops in GTA 5, it'll be red and blue.
My favorite use of it. My favorite.
Yeah, that part's
certain
pretty
games
cool.
will light up like if
And
you
you
use
get the little call.
flashlights.
You get the little call on the speaker.
Yeah, you'll get a call on the
cool.
speaker. Or if you play BioShock games or you listen to like audio logs, it'll come through the speaker.
You lying son of a bitch! You've never played BioShock on your PS4.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I
saying
think
like
he's
that. I was trying to give an idea. I was trying to give an idea.
Shenanigans.
I was saying trying to give an idea like that. Like if you listen to audio logs, like those kind of games come through the controller.
Yeah.
Shut up. What else do I love about the PS4? I don't know. I really like the UI system in it. It's much simpler than the Xbox. I'm trying to think. There's so many things like the double tap of the PS4 button. If you have two apps running, let's say you have a game running and then you also have Netflix running, or a settings or something else like that, you can double tap the PS4 button and it will swap between apps really quick. Or if you press it once, it goes back to the main menu. There's a lot of really cool little features that kind of work really, really well, that are just kind of unique, I think, to PS4 that work well. Kind of reminds me actually a lot more of like cell phones and stuff, what cell phones are doing now.
One of my favorite things about the PS4 is how easy it is to swap out the hard drive, which isn't an issue with the Xbox. We'll get to that in another section, but it's super easy to pop the little panel up and switch out the little 5. It's so funny, like, oh, it's only 500 megs.
Gigs.
Gigs, sorry, 500 gigs. Like,
I mean, that matters these days, though.
That's nothing.
I mean, that's games ballooned up in size pretty dang quickly, and since they push digital so much these days, like especially if you have PlayStation Plus.
But if you're not someone that has to have
even
all
if you
your
don't,
games installed at once,
I mean, yeah, I mostly do physical games, so for me it doesn't really matter.
It does though, because every physical game still installs the full physical game.
yeah.
Not the full game, I don't think.
But I just delete games that I
one.
don't play for the last 6 months. So I don't have Second Son or those games anymore, which are 50 gigs each or something.
And
so
that's why we don't play multiplayer games together anymore, Joel, because you always delete your games. Like, hey, Joel, do you play this? I don't have it installed anymore. Screw you.
Hey, James, welcome to my life on PC, too. Hey, Joel, we were playing that Battlefield match last week. You want to do like another one tonight, maybe? Like, oh, I uninstalled that immediately after the match. Like, just deleted it. It's all 50 gigs of it.
Anyway, back to advantages of the PS4. Let's speed it up a tiny bit here.
I can't think of anything else on the PS4.
I think
really like the whole
Sony
system.
demonstrated that they really had listened to the gamers and really learned from the PS3 generation and really were knocking it out of the park. Their E3 2013 press conference was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in a video game conference. Like, everything that people didn't like about the Xbox One.
It's like they had a handbook. They were just
honestly, and they have to lock this stuff down way too far in advance for them to have changed much of it last minute. But it really seemed like they were reading Xbox's notes, because they were like, that thing you didn't like, it works on our system. That thing you don't like, it works on our system. Sharing games, you hand it to people. Oh, and the last thing is, it's $400. And people just went crazy. And I think it was definitely Sony demonstrating, hey, we've been listening to you guys, the gamers. Now, they have not really been pumping out a ton of first-party games like in this past year. So I know that there's got to be a lot of stuff in the works because they own so many studios. Like, they have to be working
Gran
on stuff.
Turismo's coming, man.
Neither system's really been doing that many first parties, other than like the Forza series. I mean, they've put out a lot of games for a shorter period of time.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
But like Sony's fall, their exclusives this fall are a little thin.
But when they start releasing their exclusive, they have really good exclusives. Last of Us was a fantastic exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
Infamous, Second Son. Those
if
games.
you like the Ratchet and Clank type games, or you like that platforming style game, those are really fun. What else?
Bloodborne was an amazing game that came out. That's an amazing game.
It was.
I agree with Joel.
I think we're split
It
down the
sold
middle
really
on the
well.
podcast.
It sold really well.
I like I like
Well, we're split
Demon's
on here,
Souls.
but I'm saying in general, it's considered a very.
I like
considered
Demon's
a hit.
Souls better
It's a
than
hit.
that.
It's a hit for the system. Like, no questions asked. It's a hit for the system.
It was a
It's a
bigger
system
hit
seller.
than Killzone. So if that's the same thing.
Yeah.
That
Killzone and its 10-year tailspin as a franchise. It sucks. I always loved that franchise for shooters. It was so fun. The graphics were awesome. I don't know why they've never been more popular, but anyway. James, for the Wii U, I feel like you're probably the best person to talk about why you'd want a Wii U.
because I still
the
own
worst
one and you guys don't.
Well, no. There's the other big reason.
Do you want me to talk about that on the podcast? No, I'm just kidding. No, so I still actually own my Wii U. Joel sold his.
Just get an Xbox.
Which is funny. You sold it during the week of E3.
The day after E3, pretty much.
I saw so many Wii U games on the counter that had been trade-ins that week. It's so funny. But I still think there's room in the living room for the Wii U because it's really small. No,
like just there's physical room for it, but
I mean,
not in
obviously,
my heart.
I mean, when you think Nintendo, you think Mario, you think Zelda, you think Metroid, all the things you're not going to get this generation. No, the Mario games that are on there are really fun. Super Mario Maker's been really fun so far. My son's played a lot more than I have. I just haven't had time. But it's still a fun system. There's something fun about the controller to me. Just when I don't feel like being on the big TV, I just feel like kind of like laying back a little bit. And if you have kids, it's good, but I wouldn't jump in at this point unless you find a really, really good deal on the Wii U, just because their support is almost over. But I have a lot of games for it that I think are fun, and I think I've gotten as much use out of it as I have maybe my Xbox One at this point. So, it's hard to recommend a game system that they're about to pull.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
it is very cheap now. You can get one very cheap. So if you'd like,
but
towards the end of it, you'll be able to play a lot of first party games.
It's really not any cheaper.
You can get one for like $225, right?
If you buy like a refurbished, or if you buy like a super sale, but the normal price is still, I think, what, $299?
Maybe so.
So I mean, it's really not that much cheaper than the other consoles. So I say if you have kids, the Wii U is still something you should consider. Splatoon's fun. The Mario games are fun. There are a good 20 games you can buy in the catalog that you could get your money's worth out of the system. That's all I have to say about that system.
Okay, so let's
I'm
say
not
now
the best person.
you're you're probably the best person out of all of us to talk about it. We don't irrationally hate the Wii U. It doesn't really do what any of us want right now. But it does appeal to quite a few people. But let's say you've picked what console you're going to buy. You're going to buy it now. You walk into the store. All you need to do is pick that box up and walk out of the store, right? Wrong. We have some day one necessities of life for you. Joel,
Hey,
upgrade your internet connection.
A day one necessity, we put on here online membership. That's definitely a necessity for the long run, but every system comes with a 15-day free PS.
It doesn't take very long
online.
to get to that long run.
No, it doesn't take that long.
That's not
I'm saying,
exactly a long run. It's
you
like
don't
14
need to
days
buy
later.
a membership right away. You can
That's true.
install it, get it updated. You don't have to have a membership to get everything updated and installed. It
And
will
watch for
automatically
bundles
do
too.
that. Yeah.
Like I got I think a free month with mine, and I've seen ones where you can get like a 3-month thing for like an extra like $4 or $5 with bundles. Like if you watch, there's deals for that stuff.
But yeah, just like Dave said, I would definitely
but
recommend.
if you know you're going to be keeping it for the next year, it's not the worst idea in the world.
No, go definitely, because you can find, just like Dave said, with bundles, you can get PlayStation Plus for a year for cheaper than $50.
Yeah.
You can get much cheaper if you find
you cannot play online without membership.
Right,
That's
but
one
you
of
do
the
have 2
big
weeks. He's
caveats.
right. You do have 2 weeks, but if you know you're going to be playing online, just go ahead and get it now, and then just don't put the code in until you need it or something. But if you bought an Xbox, you're going to want to buy a lot of AA batteries or the charge and play kit, because when it first came out, $500 was not enough to get you a rechargeable controller. Because why?
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. To be fair, the batteries last a lot longer than my PS4 battery does. I'm only on my second set of batteries since July. Granted, I don't play it every single day, but like, it's still pretty dang awesome. But, if you're expecting to get home and have a rechargeable controller like this guy, because why on earth would you not have a rechargeable controller? Just so you know, you have an Xbox, you're going to want to get that. You might want to buy a game. Now, these days, it's pretty common for each system to come with a game of some kind. At least a download code.
If it's a bundle, a
physical game is pretty rare.
Yeah, physical game probably not, but a digital code like the
unless you find a ridiculous deal on a console by itself, don't buy a console without a game.
Yeah, because it's so easy.
there are just too many freaking bundles out there, deals.
It's easy.
Unless you don't want like a Halo themed PS4. Like if you want just a pure black PS4.
I mean, I have
some bundles don't
just black PS4.
I'm saying,
I have Halo.
Well, you have a Destiny one. Yours is a white PS4. So if you're not PS4. Into that,
I wouldn't have a Halo PS4 anyway.
Right.
But we know what he's saying, James. It's not a bad idea. I think you should probably go ahead and get another game of some kind because you will have to download like 60 gigs to be able to play this game. If you're looking to go home and just hop right into it, again, that's probably not going to happen like you think it's going to. Be a little patient. It's not the worst idea in the world to pick up another game, even if it's from Redbox. Get a game. And then you will then want your Doritos and Mountain Dew, your console starter pack. I've actually seen these together on enough store kiosks that I'm not sure if people know it's a joke.
I love when you see the Doritos and the Madden game right on this same little thing in Target.
Oh, speaking of which, Jeremiah, what you actually really want to look for, this is the best bundle in my opinion. You get your console, your game, it comes with a 6-pack of Mountain Dew, a family-sized bag of Doritos, and then some fresh neckbeard cream. You really get that grease started. You want to get a good head start on the grease.
You know the sad thing though is, other than the fact that I know I'm eating pure junk, Mountain Dew and a whole bag of Doritos does sound good.
How are you still 15 years old? How does your body not torture you?
I don't eat those. I don't eat those.
Okay.
No, I'm
Joel loves his junk.
I'm saying if I could allow myself to eat that, no, I'm eating such pure junk.
Okay.
It sounds delicious, but gosh, it's so horrible for me.
I don't know. For me, any delicious gaming food is something that does not get on the controller.
Yeah,
that's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Play Metal Gear Solid 4, so you have 45 minutes of cutscenes to eat your Doritos.
Yes, but you go over to a friend's house and everyone's passing around the Tekken controller.
And
they're all sitting there just shoveling pizza into their mouths, and everyone's sitting on the floor and their feet are touching the console. Even as an 8-year-old, I was like, this is not right. This is wrong.
I would bring my own controller. I put my tape on the bottom with my name on it, and then no one would touch. I would vet them hey, yeah, can I play your game? I would look at their hands and be like, no, not you.
Show me your hands. Joel calls
it like Book of Eli. Looking to see if they're shaking. You got cheese? Got cheese?
But now we have some recommendations of things, and some of us we're a little split. Not all of us recommend all of these things, and some of us will make fun of parts of them. But these are things that if you can swing the extra money or if they apply to things you might care about, these are some smart things that you might want to get day one. Now, Joel and James feel very strongly you should get an extra controller. Why is that?
Well, I have, I think, the PlayStation kind of licensed charger for PS4. It has two. You can put two on it. And
you can't charge just one alone. It'll be lonely. So you gotta get two controllers.
Well, I do because I'll be playing a game all day, and maybe I'm watching TV, and I set the controller down. I'm like, oh crap, that one's pretty much dead. I always have an extra one to back up. It's so lazy, but it's also so
Joel,
convenient.
you could just plug it into the system and keep playing.
I have a cord, but I hate playing with cords. It's 2015. I like playing games with a wireless controller.
It's 2015. I have two controllers. Damn it.
This is America.
I had two PS3 controllers. I've been very happy with one. I don't let my friends come over and destroy mine. That helps.
I say if you plan on ever playing with friends, just go ahead and have a controller ready. I mean, people come over. You want to sit down and play? It's there.
Most likely, if you have a console, you probably do have friends, so get another controller.
I'm actually with Jeremiah on this one. For me, the second controller hasn't mattered at all. I've never even thought about it, actually.
You don't even care about your first controller, Dave.
Well, you have a PC, too. You have a PC. We're talking about people that are only buying a console to play games.
Although he doesn't have a second keyboard and mouse for people to come over and share that with him. But I will say, once I move into the area, I'm much less likely to get another controller, too, because if you guys come over, just bring yours. It is one nice
Yeah.
thing. You can just pick up your peripherals and take them with you, and you can put your name on it, Joel. I'll respect that. A better headset. So both the Xbox and the PlayStation comes with that little earbud thing, and the Xbox comes with this weird. How far up your heads does that clip reach? I'm not trying to make fun of
I've
my big
not
stupid
tried
head.
it.
I put it right here. I put it like right, I don't know, like 6 inches below my neck.
The Xbox One headset.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said PS4 one, the little wireless. The
No.
little,
No.
What do you mean?
Like the little clip when you put it on your head. Mine's like right here, the little piece on the other side. All right, I feel like that was excessive. This is maybe an over. Is that not normal?
You're killing Joel. You're killing.
It's like the mic like right into your eyes.
It's like when you put on like kids' glasses. They're like, eh.
Oh, that's not. Oh my gosh! If you're a normal human being, it should work fine.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like it fits comfortably around my head, around my whole head. Oh gosh.
Derail.
So I was recommending it for quality purposes, but
Size
A
matters.
bigger hard drive. I'm not recommending this. I mean, if you're someone who likes to collect lots and lots of games and keep lots and lots of games installed,
Joel,
Go
you're
for
the
bigger hard
exception to the
drive.
rule, though.
I have 15 games installed right now. Like that is a lot of games to have installed on the PS4. And I still have, I think, 150
how big are the games
space.
do you have?
GTA, Bloodborne. Almost every game is like 40 gigs, above 30 gigs. So it's like 12 or something games. It's a lot of games.
Anywho, we're not debating why.
Yeah.
A bigger hard drive on the Xbox is super easy. You buy an external hard
recommend-
drive, you plug it in.
I recommend doing it up front because if you do get to the point later where you want more space, you have to re-download all those games that you want to have on there. And so it's better to just go ahead and, I mean, 2 terabyte drives. I mean, you just have to find something that's 9 millimeters.
Which is most of them are that
Most of them are that now, and you can find them for pretty cheap. I mean,
less than $100.
Yeah.
If you're smart,
I
you
mean-
can get one.
I think I paid like 70 for mine.
Yeah.
Actually, I bought an external and
Now-
ripped it apart and put it in.
If you do that, it's not a bad idea to try to get a 7200 RPM if you can. If you can only get a 5400, that's okay. It'll still work. That's the one that's in the PS4. But if you want a little bit of a speed boost, a little bit faster loading stuff, it's a good time to actually get a measurable performance increase out of your console. So.
Did you do that
Oh,
too,
yeah.
Jeremiah?
No, I haven't needed it.
Oh, okay.
I normally only have like 2 games at a time on the PlayStation, so it's not really a problem. But
But do it up front. If you think you're gonna go past 500 at some point, do it up front so you don't have to deal with it later.
yeah, absolutely. You want a 4K TV to upscale your games and make them so you can game at 4K resolutions. Or at least that's according to Best Buy, who totally sells that as a tactic. They're like, you want the best
Really?
experience for your PlayStation 4? Oh, yeah, they've had multiple ads. Get a 4K TV. And yes, it does upscale, but like in TV upscaling is not that good, guys. Like any TV that's this thick, how fast do you think that thing is that it's upscaling on the fly with no perceptible input lag? I'll tell you. It's upscaling and then applying a very slight bicubic smoother to it. Like it's the most minimum upscaling you could possibly do. It's not worth it. If you need a television, get a 1080p LED. It's the way to go. We were joking about that, but
You do need a couch, though. You
Yeah,
can't
if
be a
you want the
console gamer
couch.
without a couch.
Couch is
Exactly.
required.
both of mine are definitely not on my desk right next to
beanbag,
my
or a beanbag.
computer. Or a desk chair because you keep your consoles. I feel like such a dick because I've got an 100-inch screen in the other room and both my consoles are sitting next because for the
Dude,
same
you could be having the best
for the
Forza
same
experience.
for the same experience as Joel. I'm like, yeah, but it's more convenient because I'm sitting in my office already.
It's 10 feet away.
It is. That's the thing. So, yeah, I'm a dick.
Okay,
But
Joel.
I know. I feel like such an idiot.
That's
It'd
gonna
be cool
that's
if the
gonna
PS4
change
could
though when you
stream to your
move.
PC, so
Yes,
then
it will
could
change,
Have
it
it
will
in the
change.
other room too, but
Anyway. Now, consoles are not always smooth sailing, and we make fun, we tease about stuff. Generally, it's a very straightforward process, but there are some things you should at least keep in mind before you pull the trigger. First thing is, and this is probably the most significant, if PlayStation Network goes down, or Xbox Live goes down. Xbox Live has barely ever had issues. PlayStation Network has had issues before. They've been hacked a few times. PSN was down for like a month back in 2011. It's very, very famous outage.
I got some free games out of that.
I did too.
I'm not mad.
It's rare, but when it happens, you can't play like any game. So like if the Battlefield servers are down,
You can't play any online games.
online games, right? If the Battlefield servers are down on the PC, that sucks for your Battlefield plans. You can go play something else. Or if the PlayStation goes down, you can go play your Xbox. You will not be playing anything on the PlayStation that's online, though. You won't be updating. You won't be downloading your new games.
Yeah, you won't
most
be
likely.
watching movies or anything like that.
Yeah, so
Well, usually you can still do Netflix.
Maybe Netflix, but like if you buy anything through the PlayStation Network, you
Right.
won't be able to.
Oh yeah.
And then the next thing, and this has kind of been a pet peeve for me. Now, a lot of the nation does not have awesome internet access, and this may not apply to you. But download rates, you are limited to how fast the servers are on the other end. Your internet access is not just as fast as the connection you pay for, it's also determined by the speed of the other end. And for whatever reason, the PlayStation Network is significantly slower than a lot of people's internet connections.
It's
Xbox
significantly
is better.
slower even when you do a speed test. I have them both hard connected right at the router. And there's like a 30-40% difference in what it reads for the download speed.
My PlayStation only gets a 3 megabit upload, and I have a 50 meg upload. Like, it should be better. Does this matter when you're gaming? Not really. Does it matter when you're going to download games? Yes. Yes, it matters. Joel has this trick where he pauses and restarts the download, which seems, I think I've narrowed it down to, I think it's a Comcast Turbo Boost feature he's like exploiting to get faster download times. Don't count on that working for you. It is theoretically possible though, but you are going to wait longer to install your games. But Joel, how many games would you say can be preloaded ahead of time though?
Almost every game now.
Now
Almost every game.
that does mean you pre-ordered the game.
You
which
have
you
to
should
pre-order
never
a game.
do.
Yeah. But if you pre-order a game like Bloodborne or honestly like Far Cry 4, almost any game. I think Sony's trying to get every single game.
Yeah,
that
I got the upgrade to Dishonored and it installed.
And what it will do
well in
is
advance.
Usually a day before or almost 2 days before, it will pre-download the game or start downloading, which is really nice. So at midnight when the game does release, you will be ready to play the game. I haven't had a problem with the download speed to be able to be ready for something like that, but it is something you need to be aware of, that if you are like, oh, I want to play a game, it could be 5 gigs. And let's say you could download something on your PC in like 15 minutes for 5 gigs or something like that. Expect much longer. It could be really quick. It could be really, really, really slow.
Yeah,
but I just
the
saw a
worst
link right
when you
now.
buy a disc. When you
I just saw a
buy
link right now.
disc, go
People
ahead.
are reporting that the firmware 3.0 just came out today, and a lot of people are saying, "Wow, the speed is so much better." Like a lot. So we'll see.
Please.
I refuse to get excited till I try it.
Yeah, I mean, I would
just
try,
because
but people are saying
anecdotal evidence is anecdotal.
faster.
My anecdotal
Wow.
evidence is better than your anecdotal evidence, so I got to try it out myself. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, it can be
but
an
yeah.
issue depending on what happens.
Some guy said,
also
I'm
when you
getting
buy
32 megabits down. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll say about that. So when you
Actually,
buy a
tell
new
you right
game, you
now,
do
it's-
have to.
Oh, I can't science this because I'm actually using that input to record the podcast. Didn't think about that. Sorry.
As I was saying, when you buy the new game, immediately, like you pop it in, then you have like that 5 gig update, and that's the worst, especially on the PS4.
Yeah. Like now, some games you don't have to do the update. You don't have to do
the update, but you don't know what you don't know what
single player.
Yeah, but you don't know what you're.
But the way games are these days, I'd be very nervous to play a game without like a lot of games. Like if they need 6 gigs updates, you probably need to install those updates. If it needs 120 megs, you're probably okay to chance it.
But you can go ahead and download anyways because it's small.
Yeah, that's true. Individual hardware parts. So one of the big benefits of a PC is if a part breaks, granted you have to learn how to replace it if you didn't know how, but you can keep your computer, buy a replacement part, swap it in yourself, and you're good to go. On a console, that's not really the case. The Red Ring of Death, the infamous Red Ring of Death that affected, what was it, like 70% of original Xbox 360s? It was like worse than probably any electronics launch
I
has
finally
ever
got
been.
that and fixed it myself.
Yeah.
But,
It is fixable, but not officially. Like, they won't help you. You have to kind of figure it out yourself, use the internet to help you. And it's a simple fix. It's a fix that a lot of people could do themselves. Like, there are plenty of people who are capable of doing it, but Microsoft's solution is for you to send the Xbox back. Sony's solution is for you to send the PlayStation back. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but if it's out of warranty, it might be the end of a couple $100 because you might be shelling out that much for a new system. And if it is under warranty, you're going to be without it for a little while. So
even if you feel daring to replace like something that is replaceable, like a hard drive on an Xbox or something, it's still difficult to figure out how to get it reconfigured. Yeah. But also getting into the systems, they don't make it super easy. So you're more than likely going to scratch up your console. Unlike a computer, you just pop it open.
I mean, it's like getting into a Mac. They use a lot of the same parts, so in theory, you can replace a lot of them, but they're not designed for you to be able to get into them. And if they see that you did, it is no longer under warranty in any shape or fashion. So,
Man, my Mac Mini was worse. So, like, you open it up, it's just like a jack in the box. Like, look at all these parts in here.
But that's the thing with Macs. It's like, did you buy the special screwdriver kit for this 1.5 millimeter wide screw head? It's like, why is it that small? It's a MacBook Pro. The tiny hands that assemble it from like the slaves in our factories. I don't know, like
proprietary.
They shrink people down.
But anyway. So eventually, that console is no longer supported. Obviously, there'll be a new console generation. Now, that doesn't mean the old console is no good anymore. Like, you can still use it.
You could keep playing same games for years and years and years if they're not online. If you don't want to play online.
But eventually, if you want to keep playing new PlayStation games, you will have to buy a PlayStation 5 or whatever it is. So your PS4 games are not invalidated, but you have to keep a second console around. Whereas with a PC, you might have to build it, get a new PC after 7 years, or you can incrementally upgrade. It's kind of like, do you want to spend it all the big chunk of money every 5 or 6 years? Do you want to spend it a little bit at a time? It's not necessarily a con. It's just something to keep in mind. You're obviously not buying like the solution for the rest of your gaming life. And you won't want to.
It will last for about 6 to 8 years.
It should, yeah. If it doesn't break, it should last that long.
Yeah.
And by the time like the new generation console comes out, there'll be so many new features. You'll probably want one. Like when the PS4 came out.
There's nothing wrong with keeping it, but yeah, you're definitely going to upgrade, especially when they release the game across multi-platforms.
Oh yeah, don't bite on the old one.
And you're like, I think it's just as much like Sony saying, hey, go ahead and release it for this console. Go ahead. That'll sell more of the PS4. Or PS5, whatever comes out then, because you see the what you have, and you're like, oh, it looks really good on that one.
But I mean, I think I definitely say people are used to upgrading stuff now. Even just with phones, people are upgrading phones every year, or sometimes even faster now, which is kind of crazy. So, but the PS4 is going to last for quite a long time if it doesn't break and you have warranty or something like that. But outside of that, it'll last you for a while.
And
I like the next. Can I take the next one?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
What you put down. This is really good. If you're thinking about getting a console, let's say you're not getting it for yourself, but you are getting it for your kids, or you're surprising someone with it, and you're expecting just to open the box and start playing. Part of that is true, where you can open it if you don't do anything online, but with the PlayStation, same now with almost every phone, you can't just turn on and generally just start using it. You got to sign up with some service. Whether it's PSN, Apple, Android, Google, you got to have some sort of setup. But just expect you're going to have a lot of downloading and updating, doing some tweaks initially, pairing controllers, possibly charging controllers. Usually when you get in a console, they kind of have a half charge for the controllers, which is kind of nice. You can start at least trying it, But there is an initial setup fee. So I'm not sure. I bet, Jeremiah, did you write this, or James, did you write this?
I did.
We kind of both did.
Well, yeah, we talked about it, but yeah, go ahead, Joel.
But he recommended that, if you're going to surprise your kids with this, pull it out of the box, do all this before you give it to them, like on Christmas Day or their birthday, get all the patches updated, the games installed, then put it back in the box, then give it to them. Because then when they open it, they're like, yay, we're excited to play it. It's not going to be, we open it, plug it in, and 6 hours later, your downloaded patches and stuff. And then it's like getting a remote control car and no batteries. So...
Yeah,
just be looking.
Don't be that crappy parent. Get the batteries for your remote control car and download the updates.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like stuff isn't like it used to be. You will plan on at least the first hour, I would say, bare minimum. Yeah. Something will be wanting to update. It'll be even if it's running in the background, it'll be bugging you because it wants to restart or wants to get your permission for something. So get that all out of the way. And then, if you leave it in suspend mode and it can install updates in the background, it will largely be a smooth process after that. There shouldn't be any major issues. But yeah, take care of it ahead of time. And the easiest thing to do, I think another good thing when you're setting it up, if you have a USB mouse and keyboard combo, plug it in. I have a little wireless USB mouse and keyboard. Actually, it's what we bought for the potato masher. And I move that around if I really need to do a lot of work on one console. I plug it in there because it's just plug and play. It's a basic Logitech mouse and keyboard. And if you've got to sign into your Rockstar account, your EA account, set up a PlayStation ID and stuff, it'll make your life a lot easier if you have a keyboard available. If that's an option, because typing on a controller, no matter how clever of a thing they figure out, it's not a natural typing platform. No matter what you do, it's not going to be as good as an actual keyboard. So if you're able to do that, if you already have a wireless mouse and keyboard, it's a no-brainer. Hook that up.
Yeah, because if you want to bring your old username from AIM, which is America Online for you guys, Jimmy Rustlin, No Scope, Trickster, XXX.
And it's a PlayStation, so you can't change it.
You think hard.
Yeah. You prepare. Just say whatever username you're going to create, just know you're going to have it forever.
It's like your family name, basically.
Yeah.
It's your legacy. Go ahead and create a crest for it. It's going to be around for a while.
So
you can divorce your wife, but you can't divorce your screen name.
I don't know if it's sad, but it's true. It's good.
Someone put down the hard drive space again. Do we want to?
I did.
Okay.
If you do install a lot of games, because games are getting huge. I mean, you're getting games now that are easily 50 gigs. That adds up. That for some people that will be an issue, and especially if you record a lot of clips. If you start using the editors and stuff like that. I would say consider swapping out the PS4 hard drive, or with the Xbox One, you can hook up a USB 3 drive, and it'll actually install games on that. And so you get the initial 500 or 1 terabyte, whatever you get with the Xbox One, plus whatever size you buy. Now, the Wii U comes in 2 flavors, 8 gigs and 32 gigs, which is a terribly small size. I mean, but what you get on the disc is only 2 gigs. The difference between the Wii U and the other systems is the Wii U does not install the games, probably because they're just really not that intensive. So it can handle playing it. But if you do want to install it, you can install an external hard drive onto a Wii U and install games on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I installed 2 Wii U games. I had the 32 gig model, and it was full. It was 3D Mario and some Wind Waker, and they both took up the whole space pretty much.
I don't think Wii U is USB 3 though, which kind of creates a little bit.
You can't play a DVD in it either. Nothing. So that's pretty much what we have on consoles.
And to wrap it up, let's talk about why do each of us own the current gen consoles that we have? Not why have we owned every console that we've ever owned, but why do we own these particular consoles that we have? So Joel, you own Xbox One and a PS4, right?
Yes, I do.
All right, why?
Well, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do this whole thing in the first place was I kind of have a theory, and and I think it makes a little bit of sense.
Hypothesis.
Hypothesis that if you're the kind of person that likes minimalism, there are people that like less options for things, and I'm very much that person. I like the straightest line to be able to play games for me personally. And so if you're that kind of person, you don't care about having other options or tweaking settings or needing to have the best graphics or whatever. A console I think would be very much for that type of person. So for me, I own a PS4 because I really, really, really like the exclusives. I do like the couch co-op setting. I play lots of games with my wife. And we tend to watch movies, but then she also really likes to watch me play games, or we'll play games together. And so that kind of environment really fits my lifestyle. So if you're that kind of person, or you have kids and stuff like that, or sometimes having a PC, depending on what screen you have, I mean, you're going to have a big screen because you sit closer at a PC, so you don't need to have a 50-inch screen because you are much closer, so it almost making the screen bigger. But it's not the best environment for if you want to have like 5 people sitting around you to play the same game or to watch you play it. I think a console and a large TV experience generally is kind of a nice experience for that. So if you're that kind of person or looking for that environment, that's why I own mine. I like those kind of games. I like the settings. I like the PSN menus. I like how just the whole experience is. So that's why I have it.
All right, Dave, you have a PS4.
I do.
Why? Why, Dave?
Why? 3 reasons, actually. Number 1 is exclusives. There are some exclusives that I wanted to play and do want to play. Bloodborne, the Uncharted collection are a couple, and then also the Godzilla game that I was really hoping was going to be fantastic. But it turned out it got like a 21 on Metacritic. It's apparently terrible.
I forgot that came out.
I was watching for it. Me and John were excited, and now I'm just disappointed and sad. But hey, it's 2015. There's plenty of other good things to play. Outside
you've had a surprising supporter in the house, though.
Well, I'm getting there. That's number 3. Number 2 is just, I mean, honestly, peer pressure. Just playing with you guys. Not everyone's on PC anymore. There's more games that we're playing, which is a good thing. More variety. And yeah, you guys are playing on PS4, and I've discovered that I like Last of Us, which I never thought was going to happen because I don't generally like third-person shooters or console shooters at all. And I love Last of Us. And then number 3, my wife has really enjoyed the Lego games and even Witcher 3 on our PS4. It's, a gaming system that's not constantly occupied by either my 1440p version of Geralt or a render at all times. Like it's just available, it's right there. Just like Joel said, it's just for games pretty much. Or Netflix. The Netflix app is fantastic on it. So, yeah.
Also, I do have it as a Blu-ray player. I think it's the best Blu-ray player out there. It's the speediest. Fastest one.
The speediest.
Well, because it at least has a good graphics card and a CPU in it that can load the Blu-ray menus much quicker. Because I had just a standalone Blu-ray player, and oh my gosh, it was slow. And it wasn't even like an early one too. It was like 4 years into Blu-rays players were out.
I've got a 2010 Blu-ray player, which is not first gen, but it's also not super new either, and it's not great.
James,
let's just be last. That was the order. I love gaming, and so I consider myself.
That's why we're all here.
I consider myself probably one of the most agnostic when it comes to what system I play on. I mean, I have ones that I play on more than the others, but I like playing on the PC. I like playing on the consoles. I have no specific ties to Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo. I just I want to be able to experience the games that they each have, and the Xbox one was kind of I don't know if I'll ever get one, and then that deal came up, and it was just I had to pull the trigger because Jeremiah was pulling the trigger, and then Joel was going to pull the trigger, so I couldn't be alone.
And then I just put the gun away.
Dave, you were too busy cleaning the gun. And the Wii U, it was just it dropped the price and cheap enough. I found a good enough deal to where I said, I'll go ahead and buy it. And it's been a good purchase. The kids absolutely love it, and there have been a few games that I've enjoyed.
I got a PS4 because I was, I had a PS3 the entire last console generation. I've been a PlayStation gamer for many years, so I was planning on getting a PS4, and I'm glad I did. I was really excited by the E3 press conference. I've been a little bit let down by the frequency of a lot of games because a lot of multi-platform games I'm just playing on the PC anyway. So the amount of exclusives has not really blown me away so far. But overall, I would say, I've enjoyed it. It's a good system. And the Xbox I really just bought for the couple reasons. It was the most money I would possibly be able to get out of my Xbox 360. And then I really wanted to play Forza. So that's basically the entire reason why I bought it. But I'm sure there are going to be at E3, they showed off lots of cool games that should be coming at some point, and there'll be lots of experiences. So I know long term, there'll be enough games on either system that I'll be happy with. The reason I don't have a Wii U is I really liked my GameCube, but that's when they got multi-platform games onto them, and you don't anymore. Nintendo does not care about multi-platform games, and I have played enough Mario that I'm set for a while. Super Smash Brothers is fun to pick up and play, but it's the type of fun where I'd rather go to a friend's house and play it for an hour and then be done and not own the console. And I hate the whole super cutesy aesthetic of the Wii and the Wii U. It just grates on me so hard. I do not care in the slightest about it.
I'm gonna say though,
I hate
it's
children.
Well, right. That's what I'm trying to say.
it's actually my favorite store experience. Like I feel like the Xbox One, the store is just god awful. Like trying to
It's
find
pretty
games.
bad. Oh, it's bad.
PS4's is still pretty bad, but it's a little bit better. But the Wii U is actually really easy to find games. Granted, they don't have as many games on there, but it's actually really easy to find everything, and everything's pretty organized.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, the menus are kind of stupid.
Yeah. And guys, that's why you might want to become a console gamer.
Join us. Peer pressure.
Peer pressure.
It
I will
works.
say, I do not accept Steam friend requests anymore because I don't know who most of you are. And Dave and I both get kind of too many to keep up with, and I'm not like trying to humble brag there. We don't know who a lot of the people are who friend us on Steam, so even if we do know you and we talk to you in chat and stuff, just you adding us on Steam won't necessarily help you out at all.
Well,
and also,
it's because we have lots of sources too where it comes from. We have YouTube channels, Twitch channels, we have the podcast, we have battle log accounts. I've got like Steam Workshop stuff that people can see my name attached to. Like, there's just a lot of places where people can add us from that we
The
just don't know.
supermarket.
but I will say, if you want to add
Bathroom
me on either
stalls.
console, Germ Gaming, if I'm playing whatever game on there, you're fine to hop in. Like, send me a friend request or something. Like, I'm just gonna be goofing off more. Like, I'm gonna be relaxing more if I'm playing on the console. Well, because like I can relax and play on the PC, obviously, but I also might be working on YouTube stuff or recording or also doing other work. But if I'm on the console, I'm pretty much just relaxing. So feel free to add me. Dave, I won't speak for you. I don't. If anyone adds you, they're really just adding your wife for Witcher-related stuff.
I remember when Dave would add everyone that added him to like Origin. He was like, "Yeah, look at all these friends," and then he was like, "I hate this. There's so many people."
It used to when we were playing Daisy, I ended up having to turn off Steam notifications because for a while, like when our Daisy series was decently popular, every time I play,
Yeah.
like, "Can I record with you guys? Hey, I know you guys are working right now.
You can trust me totally.
Could you stop what you're doing, run across the entire map, and meet up with me? Number one fan, please." Also, do you have Skype? Can I add you on Skype? What's your mailing address? I want to send you something.
I'll send you a lock of my hair.
I'm glad you guys actually mentioned this. But if you do want to, for me, if you want to add me at all as a friend, like if you've been following the podcast or something like that, send it through maybe the email, like send it through Casual Shenanigans. If I get a message on Skype, Steam, I immediately go ignore or block. I don't add anyone on Steam.
That applies to his
anyone on
friends
Skype.
too, like
So
everybody.
if you want to be
Anyway.
blocked by Joel, go ahead and add him.
Yeah. If you would
that's a
like to
badge
get
of
blocked
honor.
by me, add me on Skype. Because unless I'm planning on playing with you a lot, I probably am not going to add you a friend. Not just because I don't want notifications that you're playing, whatever, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. I'm really glad you like the podcast.
Nobody
I'm
wants
glad you want
that.
to play, but I just probably won't have the time or play right now. So unless you're a really good friend and you donate lots of money to our Patreon.
Oh
Just kidding.
my.
But seriously.
All right, so now it's time for 90 Seconds with Joel. Part of the podcast where Joel talks about whatever he wants for as long as he wants. And we all desperately hope it's as short as possible. Joel, take it away.
Okay, this one's kind of funny, but this is from was it today? No, it was yesterday. Dave was helping me film some interviews for my work, and Dave the whole day comes up saying, "So do you want to drive back real quick so we could grab my charge cable real quick?" And I think he was partly joking, but I know he was also very serious.
I turned my phone off around 3:45 finally.
But Dave has a Nexus 5,
Yeah.
or as
Now
they call it, the half day.
Now I know two people here on the
Nexus
podcast I
2.5.
think are get very nervous about their battery power on their phone. But Dave, the reason why I asked is because I've seen Dave say this several times to me. I'll be walking around and he'll happen to notice that my phone is at like 30% battery. He's like, "Are you gonna charge your phone?" Like he like remind me of like
that was
and-
me
yeah.
too.
Well, okay,
yeah, I guess you-
no. Hold on,
What,
because
what?
this is bothering me. Because what you're not saying is these interviews that you're doing with your DSLR for work. They're professionally filmed interviews. You run sound off of a microphone that runs off of your iPhone, right?
Yeah.
So you'll show up to record like 2 hours of interviews, and your battery's at 32%, and you're like plugging the mic into it, checking all the settings. I'm like, Joel, your battery's at 30%. And we have like 2 hours of interviews to do. Like, do you want to charge this a little bit? You're like, nah, it'll be fine. All right, it's fine. It's just work. It's
And And it's fine because I usually put on airplane mode, or I don't use it while I'm
Airplane mode helps.
recording. Yeah. But it will last all day. But it's funny because Dave has said it several times. Not only that, I've seen you say it a few other times too as well.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
so Dave, I kept on asking while we were filming. I was like, Dave, what's your battery power? I was just like, it's at 52%. It's like, it's at 40%. Like I can see him like getting nervous because it was a long day and then we had a 2-hour break of nothing. So we're just gonna be relaxing. I didn't want to go drive back to our office and then drive back again because it's just stressful to park. So I asked Dave, I said, when do you go, I need to charge my battery? So James and Dave especially, answer this question in your head before you hear each other. But what is the percentage where you're like, you have that feeling that need like, I want to charge my phone right now?
I'll go first. If
What's the
it's okay with you,
percentage,
Jeremiah?
Dave? What's the percent?
Yeah. So for me, I will start wanting to charge something, and this really applies to everything, at about 70% or so, because I'm really a
What?
70% empty or 70% full?
70% full.
When do you put gas in your car?
Well, it's funny because with gas, I'm actually the opposite. So I'm surrounded by gas stations.
Same thing with your
Dave,
what was
does
it,
your
oil?
gas light come on?
No, never. It has never come on. Usually, 1/4 left is usually when I'll
Okay,
Mine does.
you know what a
Mine
fuel
does.
pump is? James, you know what a fuel pump is, right?
No.
James, are
Okay.
you bad?
Let me explain this though. I'm definitely a preparation minded person. Like I want everything to be prepared.
Hence the AR-15.
which actually I was really pissed at myself because we had a gunshot go off next door at about 11:30 at night, like next to our property, like a rifle is what it sounded like. And I went and I had the rifle on the wall. And I just checked like the sight batteries and all, and the red dot had died, and I had all of the spare batteries in the little compartment in the pistol grip, except for the batteries for the red dot sight, and I was really, really pissed that I didn't have backup batteries because that's like I don't.
So all the time he spent putting the red dot light while you get shot.
but here's the thing, Joel. Once again, going back to the preparation-minded stuff, besides the red dot, there's a backup laser on the side, a backup flashlight, and I have flip-up iron sights so you can sight right through the dead sight to see anyway. There's 3 different layers of
Which
sights
you should
to
be
use.
firing from the hip anyway, and this is all stupid conversation.
Yeah.
Dave, your phone.
But I'm referring to batteries, and then we had lost power over the weekend, and I discovered that 2 of my flashlights that I keep in the drawer as spares had dead batteries. So as soon as we got power back, it's still on the counter in there. We have a row of flashlights now where I've been charging batteries all week. Because I always want things to be ready in general. And then today, Joel, referring to the phone specifically, my phone was at about 65% around 4 o'clock. I'm planning on going home after, right? It's a 18-minute drive home from work.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I might be getting messages with podcast stuff going on. I'll top it off before I leave work. That way, during the podcast, I don't have to worry about charging it. It's ready to go. Well, I was stuck in traffic for almost an hour on the way home, and I went through about 25% of my battery checking messages, making phone calls, and stuff like that, and then also just playing around with it. In the hour I was stuck in traffic,
when he wasn't driving, when he was not moving forwards, just to clarify.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've never been in traffic like that around here before. I just sat there for 45 minutes. The road was just
Dave,
blocked off. It was the
I have a
expressway.
question for you. For a man who loves to be prepared, why the hell don't you have a phone charger in your car?
So, and that's the great part is I have 2 phone chargers in my car. I carry 2 of the USB wall plugs in my backpack. I got a big pack from Amazon. But I've stashed too many of my micro USB cables now. I have one in here. I have one in the living room. I have one in the bedroom. I had one in the car, but I took it to be a second one in for work. And so I don't have one in my backpack anymore. I need to actually get like one more for my backpack, and then I'll be set. But yeah, like generally for me, I want things to be topped off and just ready. It's not that like I think it's gonna die or I think I'm gonna need it. I just want it to be there, and it's not a hassle for me to charge it. Like I'm not really sweating about it. It's just nice to have.
But you do it. As soon as it hits around
brings it up a lot for guys
75%, you go and charge it, right?
To start actually charging it, I'd say 60% is when I'll plug it in.
You rebel.
Oh, you can't see it, but mine's at 60%.
60? Have you charged it today?
No, and look at this. I have a charge cable right here beside it.
Have you used it much today? Have you used it much?
I use my phone all day long.
Joel, look what mine can do. I hold it here and it charges wirelessly.
I mean, what do you
Okay.
do with it to keep your battery that long?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did actually charge.
It's a new iPhone 5.
Well, no, he
That's
did
the
charge. I'm
secret.
sorry, you did charge it. Go ahead.
Sorry, I did put it in a dock when I got back home. I forgot.
Oh.
But I'm saying up here, it's like it's 660%. I could have it charging, but I don't. But so Dave, James, what's yours? What's the percentage you're like, I need to plug it in?
Well, it depends. If I'm driving, I'll usually plug it in just to get a little bit of energy in it while I'm driving. Usually around maybe 30% is when if I'm at work, I'll think maybe I should plug it in. The oh crap is when it turns orange, which is kind of the battery saver mode, which it hits around 5%. And then I'll still use it for a few more minutes, like, or 3%, or okay, 2%. Now it's flashing the X. Now I got to plug it in. But I find that this phone, I don't know, certain apps will drain the crap out of your battery. So I took Jeremiah's advice and I just bought 2 extra batteries. I'm just going to say, screw it. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. Instead of having to worry about plugging it all day, I'm just going to swap out the batteries if I need to. I mean, it's easy
Like you
enough.
pull off the back and you put a new battery in?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it could not be
Look.
easier. Like you literally just
Take the case off. Just
I honestly,
Boom.
I
Battery.
just can't believe that you use it that much in a whole day. Do you have to charge it like twice? I mean, that's a lot of use.
keep in mind, not trying to pick on Apple, but both of our phones, and I haven't got to my battery usage yet, but both of our phones are significantly more powerful and running significantly higher resolution screens than an iPhone.
I know, but still, I mean, with the 6, that's still pretty big, you know.
It takes more battery though to do that. Like it's just physics. It requires more battery.
screen
no,
alone
I know.
the 6's resolution is not even 1080p.
I think
No.
it's just barely over 720.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're running what
Disgusting.
quad QHD?
Yeah. James
Okay,
is running
yeah, but
1440p.
what do you run though? I mean, like you have to be using it a lot. Does it only last for like how many hours? Like 4 hours, 5 hours?
I mean, it depends. Let me see.
I'm just
This
so
is
surprised. I'm like, it's almost crazy to me. I can't imagine using my phone that much.
That's
like,
because you're always hard to reach.
No.
well, but what
Not
hard to
wrong
reach?
there.
How so? How so?
29% of my usage is from the screen, and I keep it.
Wow.
I keep it bright usually because I want to enjoy the quality of the screen.
And maybe it's a topic for another time, but I don't know. I can't wait to get. I want to get more and more away from my phone. That's why I'm excited actually, just with the Apple Watch, of like just store it downstairs, and I'll get the stuff I do need to, get. But the rest of it's just that. I don't
But
wanna have to
doing
look at
things like
videos
Group
and
Me
stuff,
and chatting on Facebook, and
Okay.
Using MyFitnessPal to log stuff and looking stuff up while I'm out and doing stuff. I mean, the phone's just being used all the time.
but a lot.
I will say, I don't charge my phone ever during the day. It's currently at 41% battery. I have used it all day long. I've been streaming media, not plugged in. I have been setting up a whole bunch of new apps on my new smartwatch. I've been doing tons of stuff. Like I've been using it pretty hard. Normally at this time of day, it would be well over 50%, and I won't charge it. I'll just plug it in when I go to bed. I'll take it off when I get up tomorrow morning. I never think about it. Unless I'm navigating somewhere over a couple hours away, I'll normally plug it in just so it doesn't drop too bad on the drive.
Yeah.
But that's because I have a 3,300 milliamp battery, because my phone is ginormous by a lot of people's standards. It fits a really big battery. But what I do, keep with the preparedness thing, I just carry a 10,000 milliamp portable battery with me that just charges off a cell phone charger.
And I have one of those too. I should really put it in my backpack.
I'll come into town this weekend, Joel. I have 2 of those batteries. I'll just toss both of them in my bag. If I need them, if my watch needs it, if my wife needs it, whatever, we'll just charge. Like I could charge a dozen.
Swap the battery of my wife,
But like that's what we did when I went to New York. Instead of like hunting for wall sockets all the time, which when I went in November, I still had an iPhone 5, and I basically spent the entire trip like cannonballing off of charging ports because I had an iPhone 5 that was over a year old, so the battery was terrible.
Oh gosh.
It was like, dude, sometimes it'd be like 10:30 in the morning and it would give me the 25% warning. I would just be like, are you effing kidding me? Like, it's like hot. It's like, it's so hot, it's going to burn you.
Yeah,
The
my
battery's just-
iPhone 5, it had a bad battery.
They all did, dude. Everybody I know who's had an iPhone
Yeah.
5 has had battery issues. Like, I think
the
it was
iPhone
just-
C has a good battery in it now, but the original 5, there was something really
Wait,
bad
do you have a
about the
5C?
battery. I have a 5S now. Joy has a
Okay.
5C.
My dad went through 4 of them. 4, 5. Yeah. So anyway, but this past trip, if it got a little bit low, like late in the day, I just tucked it in my backpack with the charger. We even had several phones in there at one time, and just let it top up for an hour or two while we were doing stuff. But I'm curious. So you've been talking a lot about getting a smartwatch. I was able to get this one, Moto 360, for I think a little under $100 with 2 bands, a leather band, a metal band, all the original equipment shipped to me. It's an awesome
and
condition.
that's going to eat your battery a little bit, Joel, too.
A smartwatch, it will. So I'm curious to see now. The smartwatch will eat the battery a little bit, but will I use the phone less? In turn, because like today already, I've been like, I got a Skype message from James. I just tap a button. I reply to it by voice. It sends it all through the phone, I guess. I mean, I'm connected to Wi-Fi, so in theory, it can do it all without the phone needing to be there. But it is connecting to the phone to get all my accounts and stuff because I didn't set all that up. So, I mean, the install process or the setup process could not have been easier. So now I'm even just kind of learning what it does, but I'm excited to see, one, will this battery last all day?
I'm very excited to see what you think, because I know you've been kind of the biggest avid dislike of
I've not been a fan of
watches
smartwatches in general. Yes. I think
so. I'm curious to know if you'll be pleasantly surprised, like, oh wow, this is actually quite nice. A lady at work, she got one about 6 or 7 months ago, and so every month I ask her, I was like, do you still like the Apple Watch? Like, and she's like, I love it. Every inch she's getting one for her husband. But so I'm kind of surprised because I can't think of a lot of things I would want to use it for right now. And she's like, I couldn't think of either. But like as you start using it, you do use it quite a lot, and they said it's really freeing, especially just setting your phone down in the house and just forgetting it. Because I like, even in the podcast the other day saying like, I keep your phone in another room. That's really nice. Like for me, like right now, it's hard for me to not leave my phone in another room for a while because my brother will message me or Daniel will message me something Norman related. And I kind of need to be back, message them quickly because they're working on it at that time. So if I message 2 hours late, they're probably done working on it. So I've kind of missed my chance. Right. So, but in general, I don't want to like watch videos or have that like, oh, my phone's right there. I could watch a video or I could play a little game. I don't want that anymore. I just want only just the bare essentials.
Well, and I'm different from you guys a little bit because when I go to bed, I plug my phone in next to my desk and I leave, and I don't touch it until I sit down at my desk the next morning.
And that's what I want to do. I have a dock downstairs. I'm
curious to see if that will reduce my usage. The biggest things I'm looking for is when I'm grocery shopping, Hope and I use a synced grocery list that we can add like little icons to. And it's really helpful because when I'm going to the grocery store, I can tap a button that pings her and says, I'm going to the store, double check the list. Like it's a feature built in. And she can double check the list and add stuff to it if she needs to. But I've already checked on this watch. It's inconvenient. I'm walking around, I'm pushing the cart, and I've got my phone out constantly flipping through the list, updating stuff when I get it, pushing it through the aisles. It's just kind of a little irritating. I can swipe through everything and tap it off on the watch. That could be pretty useful. It could also be useful when I'm running. I can change songs and stuff on Spotify from my watch. I even checked it today. Spotify is playing on my computer, and I can change songs using the watch. Like I can flip through stuff. So that already has made a difference. That's then just responding to messages while I'm walking around the house doing errands. The voice dictation on like Google's voice dictation is so good. I can literally just type it and just talk, and it does. I mean, it messes the grammar up. You guys have seen that a little bit. But like it does a good enough job. You know what I'm saying. And it's thought like I literally hit one button and I just say what I wanted to say while I'm doing the dishes. I mean, you didn't even know if I was sitting down at the computer today.
No, were you responding to me a lot on Skype today with that?
Yeah, I've been doing the dishes. I was like cleaning up around. I was like,
it makes a big difference for that kind of stuff to be able to get up and be mobile and free your hands to actually do stuff and still stay in contact. Or
I'm doing all my chores.
For me, like if I'm cutting the grass or something, like. Not now, I'm in an apartment, but when I was cutting the grass, I could, have my music playing. If I needed to stop it, I just pause it really fast and take the earphones out. I have to like pull the phone out and deal with like getting it to stop and stuff. You don't have to turn the screen on to do that either. I like mine. I hope you get as much use out of it, if not more.
My thought was, for $100, like for $350, I just don't think it would be worth it. For $100, I figure even if it's pretty cool and I use it for like 6-8 months, and if I got bored of it, I could sell it and not really lose any money.
Yeah, it's not
a
huge.
Yeah, but so I figure I'm kind of just going to see, and I am doing this. I'll be honest, I'm doing it a little bit for you, Joel, because I don't want you to get an Apple Watch and be like, wow. Sure could have bought food this month instead of this useless thing, like, because they're expensive, and you don't know for sure what all you're going to use it for. Like, what you want to use it for, but I'm curious to see, like, do I actually use it for that, or am I like, oh, well,
all I hope is like a month.
Joel
from now,
will
like,
not
guys,
wait for
you
your
guys need to get an Apple Watch.
Well,
Joel-
Dave
Joel
was
will-
like, when you get those 970s, you let me know how they are. You review them for
I've
me. I'm
waited
waiting.
pretty
No, no, no.
long to get an Apple Watch, so I don't
have.
say like I have waited. Like I've had the money to buy it many times, but I've chosen not to do it.
I have too. Then I
yeah.
pay rent. I do
Yeah, yeah.
other things with it.
Well, I mean, I've had extra money that I could have paid, not just not like I'd buy an Apple Watch. Like, all right, Joe, we're starving for a week. No, I've had the money to buy it. I just haven't bought it yet. So,
Mm-hmm.
but,
You got that little nest in your house.
Oh,
I
Joel,
love that thing.
Are you familiar with If This Then That?
If this, no.
Does that work on iPhones?
I've
On
never
Android,
heard of it.
it's super cool. It's a tasker app that you make a recipe. You go, if this happens, then this happens, and you have it synced with the watch too. So right on my phone now, the top posts on Reddit.com/r/wallpapers, whenever there's a new top post for longer than like 15 minutes, it changes my phone background to that. You can also set it like if you have a Nest thermostat, you can set it so when you leave for work in the morning, as soon as your phone leaves your Wi-Fi, your Nest automatically like switches to its economical mode, and then as soon as your phone connects to the Wi-Fi again, it like starts cooling the house back down.
That's really cool. No, I haven't heard of that before.
You can all kind like there's crazy stuff. There's even ones if you have
The
like
Nest has an auto detect, like it actually has a
right, but I
sensor.
mean,
So
the Nest is just an example.
yeah.
Anything internet
That's
connected, like anytime I like a picture on Instagram, I've got it set up. It saves it to my Dropbox camera folder. Like if I just want to look at it later, like it's so many different things you can automate that I'm trying to get set up so I can manage it all from the watch and not really need the phone as much. But anyway, we've talked about that for probably like 25
Before I forget,
minutes.
I don't.
Okay.
We don't have to answer for this podcast. Maybe a casual conversation. But something that I guess I wanted to mention before, even with the phone battery stuff, and I wouldn't say like it's just more something that I've noticed with Dave is I feel like he does get a little nervous when he is running out of power, which is fine. And I kind of wanted to ask him like, why do you get a little bit nervous or kind of like, I know you're gonna lose connection in your phone, you won't have that, you won't have email and stuff like that. I feel like, but where does that come from? Because I feel like that's a little bit for James too as well. Like, is there a little bit of like I'm missing out on something, or what is that feeling?
I'd say half of it right now is that I am just super plugged into like 10 different methods of communication. My wife texts me during the day with stuff back and forth. I'm on the group me. I'm on Skype. I've got business emails coming on my work email, my YouTube email back and forth. And I'm trying to just stay on top of things. I'm also like checking videos that are going live. I'm very plugged in during the day, and not with stuff like Facebook and all. I check that a few times a day, just idly, but like actually looking for stuff, transferring back and forth. And then half it really is just I'd rather have it there if I need it for something important, like I have an email for someone with an offer, or maybe even a client for a freelance job that's trying to get a hold of me. I don't want to have the battery be dead and then not get back to that communication, even though I know like I'm not really worried about it. Like if I don't reply for 3 or 4 hours, that's not like a huge issue. I just prefer to be in the know, and I like to have things ready to go, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
I have three reasons. Number one, I always do want to be able to be contacted about the kids if something happens. Like I want that communication device part up. The other part is just I enjoy it. Like I chat with people all day long, and that's just something that I like. And what was the third? I had a third.
just don't want that to stop.
No, it's become a part of when I go shopping and stuff like that. If I can price compare and stuff like that, I want to make sure. Like if I'm stopping at a store, I want to make sure I have enough battery to at least get through the store without it dying before I'm done.
And I guess I don't know. I guess more of I'm thinking like I like being able to have battery, and I like being able to have my phone available at all times. Like I like being able to know, if I need to type something or I need to call someone or an emergency, I like knowing I have it. But I feel like I'm talking more of like there's like a tendency there's actually to get nervous like when I'm losing connection. I don't have it. Or I'd be like, oh yeah, crap. Well, I can't listen to podcasts for the next 2 hours in my car trip. Like that sucks. Like I'd rather have that. But I never go, I don't feel that
Joel,
connected that like if I miss it, that I'm like, oh crap.
All right, well, hurry up and wrap it down, guys. We've been
All
on
right,
this
yeah,
for way too long.
Okay, let me just say, I can sum it up for me, Joel, right, just real simple for you. I would rather, it's not nervousness. I'd rather take a few seconds to notice, like, hey, this is a little bit low, and then take care of a possible problem ahead of time, and then just not think about it again. Like, at work, I'm sitting at my desk for an hour and a half. I'm like, oh, I'm at 60%. I'll plug it in. Like, it's not a problem, and then I just don't think about it again. Like, I'd rather do that. Or, and what annoyed me more yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was still yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
It more annoyed me that I was thinking in the back of my head, oh, I'll grab the charger and I can just plug it into the wall when we're doing the interviews and it'll just be charged if I need it. And then I forgot that. That just got under my skin that I had forgotten it more than anything else. Because I was planning ahead in my mind, I'll charge it when we're just, not doing much and we're stationary. And then I forgot it and then it just annoyed me.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it's not nervous like, oh no, I'm going to be without my phone. It's more like, oh crap, I'm at 5%. I'm not going to have time to charge it to get to a reasonable amount for what I need it for later. That's more than anything.
Okay. Cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to take it so long.
Tonight on 90 Minutes with Joel.
All right, and very, very quickly as we wrap down this week, who played FTL? That was our game suggestion of the past couple weeks.
I played.
Me.
All right, Joel, what'd you think of FTL? Was this your first time playing it?
Yeah, first time playing it.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed the writing and dialogue in it. But as of right now, with all the other games I'm playing right now, it'd be hard for me to jump into it and probably really, really love it right now. But I think if it was like a really lull time and there was no other games I'd play, I could probably actually get into it.
You also said you'd like it as a phone game, you think?
Yeah, I think if it was on like an iPhone or a tablet,
I was the one to say
really,
the
really
phone.
like it.
Oh,
Me.
sorry. Well, I remember Joel saying he did like that. I didn't say he came up
yeah.
with the idea,
Mine,
James.
don't-
I know.
Give me-
James is always
James,
got to take
all right,
credit.
James.
Always
Steal
gotta
my
take credit.
ideas.
So, James, do you like FTL?
I liked it. I liked that I felt like I was looting. I mean, I was.
You
There's
are
looting.
I mean,
There's
that's
a lot of looting.
the only reason to play.
Looting in space, James.
Space is good.
Facts.
No, but it was fun. It frustrated me because I wasn't as good at it as I would have liked to have been. But screw them.
Sweet Dave was like, I feel like I got pretty far. I made it almost to the final boss. I'm like, you know nothing. Dave, what were your thoughts, Mr. Install It this afternoon?
Are you serious?
I had a good lunch
Dave.
break. I'm going back for more though, because I definitely did the tutorials twice. I absorbed all that information twice, and then I got all the way. I got all the way to the last sector. Right, Jeremiah? It is the last sector. It's just it's a very long sector, I'm sure, right?
No, when you get there, I mean, getting to the boss is pretty easy. It's just, the thing is, without spoiling it, it is virtually impossible to beat the boss the first time you get to the boss, unless you're insanely lucky, because you won't know what the boss has in store for you, and you will not have adequately prepared for it. So that's not a spoiler, because that doesn't tell you what to prepare for.
Right.
There are multiple different ways to do it, but you
Clench your
have
butt
to,
cheeks.
you have to have a plan going in, and you will not have it the first time you get to the boss. Now, getting to
Gotcha.
the boss becomes progressively easier, but then and then once you get past the first wave of the boss, maybe there's other waves. Maybe I won't tell you.
like you're talking about Dark Souls.
With the exception that this entire game is only 1 hour, as opposed to the amount of time it takes to go around and get enough blood vials to try the next thing in Bloodborne, which was also an hour, but FTL is an entire game, and that's just grinding for a stupid commodity. Go ahead.
I did have to Wikipedia what roguelike meant. I've always heard that, being used to describe RPGs like that. I had to Wikipedia it, but I loved the looting system, the upgrade system, tracking my different crew members with the different skills, and assigning them all to the correct roles. It was right up my alley.
Once
I'm
you
going
played a
back
little
for
more, I don't want to influence you if you're actually going to keep playing it, but
Yeah,
I came
I'd
up
like to.
with what I think is the build that you and James would both absolutely love, because you love looting so much.
And the thing is, I'm already so into this. I don't want you to tell me.
Exactly. I want you to figure it out, but then I'll tell you later. I think
You can
I
tell
have
me. You can tell me. I like spoilers.
Unless something, if the game just decides to screw you, there is a virtually unlosable build if you do it correctly. There are more than one, but I've come up with basically an unlosable build.
FTL God loadout?
Oh,
Big
guys,
orange thumbnail.
as we closed out, I was so tempted. I didn't do it. On G2A, you can buy a bag of 10 random Steam keys for $2. Have you seen that?
What?
They're all terrible games. They're leftovers from bundles and stuff. It's like someone buys a bunch of indie bundles and then has this leftover codes. So, but you can buy a random Steam code for 15 cents, or you can buy a bag of 10 So would it be hilarious to buy like 15 of those packs and then make a YouTube video that's like G2A massive code unveiling, like $14 of code unboxings, and then just get super hyped and then be disappointed when every single game sucks because no one gives games away that are good for 25 cents. But I can't tell if that's a brilliant idea for YouTube.
You would get a lot of hits if you. Yeah, you should have said it on the podcast.
That's the thing. It's like I want to do it, but I think too many people are going to be like, "Dude, why? This is so lame."
No. The key, Jeremiah, is you make that video. It's a 10-minute long unboxing video. You upload it. You immediately turn off ratings, turn off comments, and you never look at it again. It just rolls in the views.
But I turn on ads.
You gotta have one of those personalities that like really can revel in the terribleness of the game.
That's all you do is just every time like, no, come on, Metal Gear Solid, no, Bad Rats again, no, Princess Pony's Magical Adventure. I didn't even want this game.
So when FTL 2 comes out with multiplayer, are we gonna play together?
You're dead. You're not ready. Shane's gonna be on my team. Y'all are dead.
Okay. Well,
all right, with that, you can always write into casualshenanigans@gmail.com if you're still awake this far into the podcast. You can tweet at casualshenaniga, at germgaming, at evil Viking. You can check us all our junk out at casualshenanigans.com, which is our website. Our junk is not literally on there. We also have a Facebook page.
You can find Joel somewhere.
And iTunes, rate us, like us on iTunes, and all that type of stuff. Basically, thank you guys for watching us. Thank you for listening to us. I know we've done 3 2+ hour podcasts in a row. Next week, I promise we'll be back to a more regular format. We've got some really fun, awesome topics, I think, coming up that we're pretty excited about. More casual conversations are on the way. So thank you guys who support us on Patreon and make this all financially possible or financially easier. And thank you to all of you guys for coming out. I will see most of you this weekend. And with that, everybody, it's been a little while and I've kind of just been doing it vanilla for a while. So I will say, as we close everything down, we love you guys. And if you're not busy, slap a seal. So
make time for your seal this weekend.
And we're out. I just cut it off right in the middle of the creepy laughter.
Joel,